Alrighty, well, welcome to this week's Talk What Asks Us Anything. As usual, it's been a pretty busy news week, and the first news item we've got is navigation waypoints operational in Australia, finally. This is a photo I took a couple of days ago in one of my cars, and I just sort of went crazy and basically slapped down five different places to go and sort of tried it out. It's pretty good, but one of the things it lacks is the ability to basically shuffle the actual waypoints or organize them in a custom way, in a different way, or in an optimum way. But nonetheless, it's a pretty good start for something that Elon Musk has famously been very reluctant to implement. Second pretty big news story is the unveiling of Tesla's supercharger being approved in Lancelin. So this was basically thanks to the Shire of Dandaragan, sorry, Gingin, and basically you can see there's an application that was unanimously approved at their last committee meeting, council meeting, and that's basically four bays have been allocated for a three stall 250 kilowatt supercharger. And you'll also notice quite interestingly that Synergy have also gotten approval for five bays to be used for their fast DC highway, which basically comprises in general a dual DC charger and an AC backup as well, hence the five bays. So it looks like Lancelin is going to be very well catered for. And that park is actually Wangaree Park, which Tokwa were at, I think it was last year for a one of the drives that we did. So that's pretty exciting news there. The next news item is a galaxy of Teslas. And this was had last night. As we know, there was no time to die. And basically, everyone that attended got one of these, which was pretty nice. Many thanks to Rob and Robin for doing this. I hope you can see that all clearly. Uh, this is an aerial photo of the
Wow.
drive-in, and
Wow. So
Pete,
Tesla.
there in this photo there are basically 45 Teslas, but I think Pete was there 47 on site.
Correct, Harold. Yep.
Awesome. So we've got mainly Teslas along the back three rows, and then for a little while there was a Model X, two Model X's, and a Model 3 in the a little bit closer to the front. So yeah, that was pretty exciting to see so many cars all in one place, and yeah, suffice to say it was a pretty good movie. Our next item of news is the new committee members have been elected at TOCRA's AGM. They are namely Nigel Farrier and Stephen Rogers. So congratulations to those two blokes. They are the two good-looking roosters on the left side of the image. So congratulations. The the AGM was a great success. Like all good AGMs, it was pretty brief, and the rest was basically us just socialising and enjoying each other's company. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good turnout, and yeah, it was a great time had by all.
Mm.
One of the later parts of news is that we have a Tokwa Synergy Technology Expo on the 7th of December at the Forest Centre. So this is basically it's a private expo that Tokwa have arranged with Synergy, and it'll cover, amongst other things, the EV highway, which obviously now, in light of the Lancelin revelation, will be quite interesting. Virtual power plants for schools. Enable, which is a method of having private networks that service multiple premises, such as shopping centres and apartments, and also the SESH program, which is the Smart Energy for Social Housing. So please do um, book for that, book early, because numbers are strictly limited. And the numbers basically are, well, the ceiling is 100 attendees, and we've already got of the order of 40 that have already signed up.
Wow.
So please do get in quick to avoid disappointment. And the last bit of news, which is sort of interesting, is Tesla has opened a new delivery centre at 25/27 King Edward Road in Osborne Park. And that basically looks a little bit like this. So this is basically King Edward Road going north, and Tesla are somewhere in this complex doing deliveries. So we've had some reports via Facebook and other means that Tesla are basically utilizing this site for deliveries. So that's basically the news this week. There have been a couple of other items, but we'll get to them a little bit later on.
That actually makes sense to have a delivery centre, because the Aussie Park place is way too small for the number of deliveries that they're doing.
Yes, absolutely. So it's
you'll probably find that they'll be using both, especially towards the end of the quarter.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Actually, it'd be quite interesting to see whether they, because traditionally deliveries have sort of interfered with the process of having test drives. So, I don't know, Pete. It'll be very interesting to see how Tesla plays that. Whether there's enough space at the King Edward Road site to just do all the deliveries there, or maybe do a combination of the two. And I dare say they might do that, towards the end of the month. Now, is there anyone that's new? If there is, please put your hand up so we can welcome you properly. I note that Damo was around, but he's on the track, which is going to be interesting. So I know he's lurking. So welcome back, Damo. I think his car is coming in January. But if there's anyone new, please put your hand up. Otherwise, we'll move right ahead. Oh, actually, speaking of heads, we had just talk amongst yourselves. Pete, you actually had a slide. Do you have that handy, or I can grab it? You had some analysis of cars at the movies.
Yep, just give me 1 second. I'll pull it up now. See if I can find it. Unless you're quicker. See who's quicker.
I'm going to try my. I've got it. There you go.
Okay.
Here we go. So Pete, you can talk to that if you like.
All right. Let me get back to where we are. Okay. Yes. So we had, as Harold said earlier, 47 Teslas there, which is phenomenal. Twice as much as last year. Easy. So that's great to see. There was 3 Model X's, I think twice as many Model S's, and obviously most of them Model 3s. White is obviously the most popular color, being the free one. There are only 2 blacks. There was a Model X black and my black one. There was a few reds there. One of them was actually a sprayed on red over a original white. So I counted that as red. And quite a even split between personalized and generic number plates. That probably goes to the fact that there's probably a few more enthusiasts there, and enthusiasts are more likely to probably have personalized number plates. But I probably should talk to that chart in the bottom left-hand corner. So obviously SR Plus, the most popular out of the Model 3s. The performance came in second, and long range, the middle trim was the lowest out of the 3. Fairly even spread amongst some of the other models, the S's and the X's, but that's probably not a statistically large enough sample size. So
Does burnt orange count as red in that statistics?
no burnt oranges there. No such thing.
Actually, I do have an image that I'm going to dredge up a little bit later that could hold a contrarian view, actually. But yes, we'll get that a little bit later on. So any other comments or news items that anyone's got?
Just on that Lancelin thing, I saw someone say that the bays for those spots weren't going to actually be EV dedicated and anyone could park there.
That's technically true because the only way they could have proper standing is if they had legislative or regulational standing, such as for disabled bays. So, well, one thing is I dug out the council documents, and they are actually leasing the land to Tesla they're proposing to lease it to Tesla for $750 per annum on a 5-year with 2 5-year options. And I think they're doing the same thing. Well, they are doing the same thing for Synergy for their sites. So technically, if the land is leased, then I guess Tesla / Synergy could take civil action against someone that's misusing that's parking there when they shouldn't, technically. But in essence, I mean, as long as it's not too badly iced, it shouldn't be a problem. And I guess that's something that might be taken up with the council at a later stage if it does become a problem. But yeah, they are leasing the land.
Yeah.
So in a sense, they sort of have some control of it.
Cool.
Yeah, any other bits of news or any other items that anyone's got?
Yeah, the popcorn was really good at the drive-ins.
I've got a couple of things, Harold.
Yes.
Quite a big week for me in Tesla world. So I spoke to Harry this morning. It looks like I'm going to be getting my car in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
How long do you think all that'll take? 2 weeks. Really? Yeah, that's all.
Any idea when you're going to be finished here?
2 weeks.
How long will it take to put this place together?
That's awesome, Damo. So 2 weeks. It's funny you say that because when you indicated that you were going to get your car in January, I thought Harry will be sitting there working out how to make sure that car, which is already in Fremantle, is going to be delivered to your hot hands before Chrissy. So that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. I'm really, really wrapped. So yeah, I've just been working out. Well, George has been helping me work out, what we can do for charging. And I joined Topwell last night. Finally.
Hey.
Fantastic. Yes, I did see that. Congratulations. And welcome. Absolutely welcome.
I've been harassing Pete a little bit about running down at the track, so yeah, I can't wait to get my Tesla down here. I found that three-phase switch, Pete.
Awesome. Yeah, there should be a few of them. There should be more than one just on the grass there.
Yeah, yep. It's right behind me on the grass.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no,
Awesome.
Right, so the date was supposed to be 21st of December, but I think Harry said that the ship gets in either tomorrow, I think Friday, and as of next Friday, he should be able to start moving cars. So.
Damo, where are you right now? Are you in Vietnam?
No, I'm at the Motorplex at the track.
Oh, you sound like you're in a far distant planet.
Sorry.
That's better. There we go.
Yes, thanks for that comms check there, Jared.
It's really noisy down here. Need some bloody EVs.
That's exactly it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And it sounds like that problem's going to be solved pretty quickly, Damo. So,
Yep.
yeah, and more power to you. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's-
I'm wrapped. It's been quite a involved week, but yeah, it's hopefully it'll all be worth it soon enough. So
Yeah, look, it is
hanging out.
it's great, and it's awesome because to get it a month earlier is just it's an early Christmas present, and like we keep banging on, your only regret will have been that you haven't done this sooner. So
Yeah.
look, it's going to be awesome, and congratulations for making the right choice, mate. It's
Thank you
fantastic.
very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm sort of got ants in my pants now. There's like a week and a half or whatever to go, and I'm really excited.
I know how you feel, Damo. I only had 5.5 years of that.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Pete. That would have been hard.
It sure was. It wasn't fun. Oh, it was fun, but it wasn't fun.
Jeez.
But hey, really good timing, by the way, because speaking of news, Harold, I reckon so. China have increased the price of the standard range for the second time now in 5 days.
Yes.
In the US, they've raised the price about 10 times already by about $1,000 US each time. So an extra 15 grand Aussie just on the standard range. I reckon so. Our time frames have pushed out from 2 to 3 weeks for the Model 3 to 8 to 12 weeks now. So I reckon if the time frame pushes out any further, I think we might start seeing some price increases here as well.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Pete, because when I did hear about the Chinese price increase, I instinctively went straight to Tesla's website to check out what was happening here. And then I got a bit of a fright because when you click on order now for the Model 3, it just had a spinny wheel on the website, sort of waiting to load. And I thought,
happened to me tonight. Same
right, because it had this long spinny wheel this morning, and I thought, oh, I had remembered that when the Model Y was released to the UK on their website, it happened at about midnight their time, and that was about 8 a.m. this morning when I saw this spinny wheel, and I had this little conniption thinking, oh, we're Tesla updating their website, and does that mean we're gonna score Model Y very soon?
I've still got the spinny wheel. I'm on the site now, and it's spinny wheel.
Yeah, I've
Right.
got an update on that. Excuse me. FedEx are delivering all the cars, so there's no delay. You'll get it straight away. Pretty much. If FedEx are involved, yeah, got no problem at all. Yeah.
Yes, that does not surprise me.
Can you tell them to hurry up with my Starlink order?
Yeah,
It's
well, I'm
currently in
waiting.
Singapore.
I'm waiting on my laptop, and I'm just looking at my phone, and I see it's just had a little holiday in Sydney, so it's spending a couple of days in Marrickville. Before I got off the plane, I had jet lag on the plane. I'd had to have a couple more days off, and now it's sitting in Marrickville because there's a protest, and they're hanging out watching that before they leave. But apparently, then it's going in a truck to Perth, so should get it next week. FedEx.
2 weeks, mate. 2 weeks.
They're more than 2 weeks. They're 3 weeks. Is their policy 3 weeks? So,
Actually,
Mine just went straight 8 to 12 weeks. Went straight through. Standard range plus.
yeah, because you're old, and they look at you and go, "You're old. We'll give you special priority." You're like the old people at the line. You go straight in, and you're in. It's people like me, young guys, at the back of the line.
are you trying to say that he hasn't got as long to wait as we do, Jared?
No. Richard Cooper is like Mr. Express. He's always getting stuff straight away. Yokes.
I only beat Pete. Pete was 5 years. I was 3.5.
So Richard, speaking to Singapore, it has actually left. The dishes have left Singapore, and they did so frustratingly. I think it was about 6:30 a.m.
Yeah,
Singapore time.
I'm actually looking at it now. 6:33 Singapore time. Shipment departed from Singapore. So,
So presuming nothing bad has happened to the plane, it's obviously landed somewhere.
it'll be very cross.
Let's hope it's probably Sydney because that's where DHL seem to go, but you never know your luck.
Well, it's still got 6 days to get to me. Because my delivery date was the 30th.
Yes. Yeah.
Yours was the 29th, Harold.
29th. Not that
Yeah,
I'm
it was-
bragging, but yeah, it was a day.
You're
early.
I've
closer
got
to
29th
birth than
as well.
I am, so
I've got one complaint about last night, directed mainly at Pete because he does the graphs, and he's totally left off the demographic of the Russian community. Last night there was supposed to be some Russian people, and they weren't there, and also some younger generation like Alex wasn't there. Now I know that Alex has got a new car / hobby / friend. And, I understand that he wants to spend it, but, he's missing out on these special events like last night. So to the Russian community, I'm sorry. And to the younger community, I'm sorry as well. It was a great movie. You can ask me or Harold. We watched it intensely. So you missed out, definitely.
at least Alex made it to the AGM.
Oh, true, he did. Yep, true, he did. And so did Carmen. But where were they both last night? I don't know. Carmen?
Hey, I wasn't there either.
Carmen, well, you already seen the movie. Didn't you already see
Carmen's
it?
just unmuting herself,
Here we go. RAC.
and she's working hard. And there's actually two of them, so that's
No,
what. Oh,
I know, I'm trying because I'm having a problem with my one equipment with the Mac, so I'm trying to get rid of it, but it's not working. I think it's working now. There you go. I can go. Yes, I'm booked to go with a group on the 4th of December, Jared, so we can discuss the movie after the 4th of December.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with the group.
You don't
Yes.
want to know at the end when Lassie comes in?
actually, Jared, I don't think either of us. Well, in fact, I don't not think. I know that neither of us know how the movie ended either. So,
Oh,
so
really?
yes, I'm with Carmen. Let's not spoil the ending.
How it started,
Well,
because the sun was still up.
yeah, well, there was a lot of features. I think the sun was on the whole time because I think the quality of the lamp of the projector was, shall we say, limited.
Richard, when you're cool, Richard, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day.
Yeah, so.
Yes, that's a lovely sentiment, even if it's not true.
And Alex, where were you, Alex?
So did you enjoy it?
Yeah, Alex, were you playing with your new friend?
And so that's why cool people wear sunnies at night. Yep. Sorry, Alex, your turn.
No, I was actually stuck at work, believe it or not.
Oh, sounds like bullshit, Alex.
No, I was stuck at work till 7:40. 7:40 last night doing paperwork, and then
That's
dealing
right,
with
that's-
family emergencies. So
That's when the sun went down, right?
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
half an
know.
hour
The
after
movie
movie
started at 7:10, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
He's
But
got a
it sounds
horrible
like-
boss,
sounds like,
Alex.
guys, you had a really good time, so that's good.
It was cold. Popcorn was good. Yeah, it was interesting.
How can it be cold? You're in a temperature-controlled car.
No, I was standing outside talking to Harold most of the night. It was pretty cold.
Yeah, and I had my tailgate up, and the wind was blowing in. So then I ended up sort of sitting in the very
bloody
back
hell.
part, in the little sort of, well, I don't know what you call it, the storage area in the back, with
Yeah.
my tailgate cracked right down low. So there was only like about, I don't know, 30 centimeters of gap, and I was peering between it. Having the heater cranked up to, I think my heater uses about 8 kilowatts of heating. So yeah, it was a bit chilly, but it was good anyway.
Yeah, it was a good night.
I was sleeping anyway, so.
Richard Cooper's car was all fogged up. I don't know what's going on in there. I was waiting for the bubble machine to turn on. You know? I don't know what's going on.
You're a funny boy, Joe.
He was parked next to me. It was all fogged up. And,
That is,
He was watching Titanic, was he?
Yeah,
my
yeah,
wife
exactly.
Netflix for a while there. She's not a big James Bond fan, but yeah, still good. I think it's good to go to the Pioneer Village every now and then to go back in time and experience the way that our grandfathers, enjoyed the drive-ins back then. I think it was good to do it. Certainly wouldn't want
The cars may have been a little bit different.
the cars. You mean like the horses in the cart?
Yeah. Yeah, the horseless carriages.
Yes.
I don't think they have them in Grandparents' Day. I think it's just parents, Jared.
Oh, look, there was a lot of RAC members there, Carmen. You could have gone to town on them. I tell you, you could have had a great night.
There were definitely a lot of RAC members there.
Oh.
Well, those that have their cars insured with RAC, that's for sure.
Funny.
Oh, is Chris Lim there? Chris Lim? Come in, Chris. Chris, we need to find out where that paint, 3-pack paint comes from.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Oh, no.
little incident last night that we're going to need a little 3-packer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you need to put that up again. We need to let that know. A few people know where to get that from.
What colour have you got, Chris? Is it red?
My car?
Yeah, the paint pack, is that red?
No, I've got the midnight silver.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I think we're looking for a red version, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Red said triple coat or something, doesn't it, Harold, or something like that?
So say again, Damo?
The red one says like triple coat or something like that on
Yes.
the site. The red.
I think they all do it.
All of them are triple.
Yeah, it's a triple process. I didn't dare look to see the damage on the red car because I just didn't want to go there. But I
What
don't know if
That wasn't your car, was it, Jared?
No, it wasn't my car. No.
no, it was someone else just in front,
of you, though.
just in front of my Model X. Someone forgot that the bollard was just to the right of them and
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
touched the car. But I'm sure that happens quite regularly. And I mean, as it turns out, these days they should just remove the bollards because they're superfluous. But I guess that requires a modicum of effort because they're fairly well concreted in.
Yeah.
But
Let's look at the screen first, shall we? Maybe touching up that screen. The crack in it.
yes, yes, it looks exactly the same to yesterday as it did a year ago. So I've been thinking about. I did bring the drone. Maybe I could dive bomb a thing of paint, a tin of paint, if I could get skillful enough, or just attach the paint to the drone and just fly it into the screen. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing, definitely.
But most of the time when you go to the movies, no one cares what movie's on. So yeah, I don't know. Well, you and I, Jared, we didn't see it, so it's all good.
I wouldn't go.
We were busy panning for gold. We thought we'd do the panning for gold in the back section. That was part of the Pioneer World experience. It's good to go into the canteen and the old Coca-Cola sign on the wall. They only sold Schweppes, but the old Coca-Cola sign on the wall, that was great, back in the 80s. So yeah, very
Well, I think it was built in about 74. So yeah, there's a fair bit of.
Yeah, that'd be better, right?
Yes,
Nigel was there at the opening, weren't you, Nigel?
That was before the talkies. That's right. Before there was sound.
Back in Richard Cooper's day, when they just little black and white. The Flickr, was it a Flickr movie, Richard?
No, I'm too tired to comment. At least I'm still awake for another 8 minutes.
Why? Where have you been? Why are you so tired?
No, I'm only kidding. Hey, Pete, you had to wait 5.5 years for your car. Well, I was down Hurdy's catching carp a couple of days. I was in my car, and he said, "Oh, he was very interested." I told him, "Yeah, I had a couple of years," and he said, "Oh yeah," and I said, "I reserved mine on the 1st of April 2016. He's getting his car's coming this month, and he reserved his on the 2nd of April 2016.
Whoa.
But he's just life's not been ready to get the car, you see. He was finally getting it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Interesting.
So
what sort?
I'm not. He's going to get a model. He wants a Model Y, but he's just not going to hang out for that. So he's going to get a Model 3. He didn't tell me which one. I think the standard range, or the rear-wheel drive, as it's now called. So.
See, but that doesn't count, Richard, because that's self-inflicted.
No, that's
So-
voluntary. That's voluntary.
Yeah, voluntary. Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't count. It's when you're helpless, powerless. There's nothing you can do. That's when you get the true anxiety.
The funny thing about my purchase, when mine finally arrived, I've been watching 3,473 YouTubes on how to drive a Model 3. I got in and thought, holy, what do you do? It was a bit scary. And I got 10 minutes out of it before I ruptured my flatbed after that.
Oh,
Interesting experience.
now before we, I'd mentioned, someone had mentioned burnt orange, and actually, I forget what colour is your car, Jared?
It's burnt orange, apparently.
Yeah,
I feel
it
a
certainly
setup coming
it
out
certainly
there.
looks it to me.
It's definitely burnt orange.
That looks pretty burnt, I've got to say.
Geez, you
And-
could have got a better shot of me. I'm looking a bit pregnant there. What's going on?
That was a flattering shot. Paul.
Your body's a temple, Jared. Your body's a temple.
It's about 3 temples, actually.
It's definitely a temple, right? Don't worry about that. So,
Hey, Jared, like I say, I've got the body of a god. Pity it's Buddha. Anyway,
Love
why would you want a 6-pack when you can have a keg, right?
or a pallet. People say, "What's your shirt size?" I say, "SM, small marquee."
Oh, you got the body of Thor. You know, the big Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, Thor. You know, when he started drinking, you know, from the Avenger movies.
Dear.
It's good.
Alrighty, so has anyone else got any questions or news or anything?
Did anyone hear about that you can customize your buttons on your app now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Paul,
Does everyone
tell us
know
again.
how to do that?
Yeah. I forgot.
Or
Can
do
you
you
tell
want
me?
me to show?
Yes, you go. Please show us.
Paul.
Teaching with Paul.
Hey, preferably with clothes on this time too.
Oh, hey. So the first thing is to check what version you have, and you do that by hitting your profile. Oh, I'll just do it. Come on. And then you scroll down the bottom, and it'll show you what version you're on.
Yeah.
So I've got the latest one, which is 4.3,
6, yeah.
and you have to
4.3, was it?
Yeah, 4.3.
Yep.
That's the one for the customization. And you have to go into either the App Store or Google Play and go into your Tesla app there, because it no longer updates automatically, and then you update it. And once you've done that, and you hop back.
Hang on, Paul, slow down. Some of these people are not quick like you,
Oh,
mate.
sorry.
It's older
Sorry.
generation. Richard, you
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Okay, Carmen. Carmen, you're
But
good?
Yeah, I've got 4.3.
Cool. No worries. Beautiful. And then once you've done that, see how you got the buttons across the top, how you have the charging one.
Yeah.
I've changed it to Sentry mode. You don't need the charging one because you can still hit your charging in where the battery icon is. Oh, good one, Paul. This makes great TV. Yeah. So it'll bring it up. So you no longer need the charging one. So what you do is you just have your finger,
cool.
hold it over that, and then for a few seconds, that's showing up.
Oh, look at that.
Look at
And then
that.
it brings up, and then what it'll bring up is a quick menu, and then whatever one you want, you just have your finger over it. So like I'm doing the charging one, you drag it onto whatever icon and let it glow, and then it'll switch it out. So what I've done is switched in Sentry mode, because and then you save down the bottom here, and then you no longer have to go in your controls. You can just click on Sentry mode or click it off, just like that. There you go.
Oh, you're a genius.
Brilliant.
Look at
No
that.
worries.
That's brilliant.
So I
Work, Paul.
hope that helps.
And if you keep your finger on in that options menu, if you keep your finger on one of the icons too long,
Yep.
it will automatically swap your last one out.
Oh, yep.
So it's like an
Cool.
undo.
Yeah. Yeah, you can flick it around to whichever ones. I like the ones that they currently have there, but you can have, you know, both the trunk and frunk and all that sort of stuff.
Good.
So yeah, just something
Nigel,
new.
you all right? Nigel, you got
Really
it?
good. He's asleep.
Me? No, I've just woken up. What's happening?
It was all a dream. Oh,
no,
the car's gone.
I've done
The
it.
car's gone asleep.
No,
Carmen?
I've done it.
Carmen, you
Actually-
got it, Carmen?
I thought
Yeah.
Carmen, you're not going to have a
I've got-
car. Carmen, you're not going to have a car. You got a tractor. Just grab the tractor icon. That's the.
Oh,
That's
Has
your
it
car.
turned? Has it turned into a Cybertruck? Has it?
It's turned into a bottle of vodka.
I've
Well,
just put the boot opener instead of the frunk opener, which is much more useful.
Yeah,
Yes.
good. Yeah. Yep.
I've got both, same as Paul. Instead of the charging, I've got frunk and trunk, or fruit and boot.
Good work, Paul. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything to help.
very good. So has anyone else got anything half as good as that? I doubt it this week. I mean, has anyone tried waypoints? Have you
No, I haven't
sussed
got
that out yet?
I haven't got that version on the car.
Oh, neither do I.
what is defrost car?
That's in
You know,
Russia.
first-
Carmen, that's the tractor. That's to get the ice off the tractor.
You know, first thing in the morning to defrost your car,
Oh,
you just press that so you don't have to go outside. But you just put the heat on for about half an hour or something before you go. And if your charging cable's plugged in, then that'll warm the cable up and make it easier to wrap up.
okay.
So did anyone else have people having a go about Teslas on Monday?
So I've never seen the start before.
Sorry, Barry, what was that? People having a go about what?
Yeah, went into work on Monday morning and got hit up by someone saying, "Oh, so your car didn't work on the weekend then?" I said, "What are you talking about?"
Oh,
And he said, "Oh yeah," he said, "I saw that no Teslas could drive on the weekend." And I said,
That's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's
yeah,
nonsense.
I know it's nonsense. So
Yeah.
I said I didn't see anything on the, the club
Hey,
forum.
Barry,
And yes, sorry, Jared.
so the guy that told you that, Barry, is he on the methadone program?
No, he's a BMW driver.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he said, "Oh yeah, the Teslas didn't work. Oh, it must have been while you were not using it." So I checked on the Tesla forum, and of course, I just saw one person mention the app didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just the app. It's not. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
But
you
the
can
car
use
still
the-
works.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so I went
exactly.
back to him and said, "Oh no, it was just a few people worldwide that the app didn't work. They could still drive the cars." And then, oh, okay. And then the other guy who owns a Tesla came in to work, and he immediately hit him up saying, "Oh, I hear your car didn't work on the weekend." I'm thinking, why are you backing them?
The phone still worked. The phone still worked, like your Bluetooth. You just walked up and opened it. It was just that you couldn't put your climate control on for like half the day.
Yeah.
And so I think
it
was
something like that, and then they're bagging out Teslas because of it.
don't worry about it.
It's serious.
Media. It's what the media do.
It's spreading FUD.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And part of that was the ABC. I think they inadvertently took up that news story and actually had it on the lunchtime program or the afternoon program, basically saying, and the implication was that all Teslas couldn't be driven. Of course, it was just a lack of understanding of how to operate the cars. I think there might have been some people caught whereby particularly Model S and X owners that say have a fob that's got a flat battery and they can't be bothered changing it because the old S's and X's, you don't have a phone key as such or at all. So quite a few people would have been using their cars exclusively with their phone, or the app on their phone, and of course that's when you get caught out. Or they might be using third-party apps, say on a smartwatch or something like that. And again, you'll get caught out if Tesla's servers go down at any time, which they have done in the past.
Yeah. I have a little anecdote on this. So Emma took James for a swimming lesson, and was the battery flat in the fob, or did you not take the key? Yeah. So and she didn't take the key and thought, oh, I've got the app. Now, we just had the MCU1 to MCU2 upgrade. Now, what hadn't happened is Tesla hadn't told us, or we hadn't known to actually log out of the app and log back in again, because what happened is when you log into the app, it creates a virtual token. So when they put the new MCU2 in, it worked and it was no problem, but it basically failed the re-authentication. So when Emma went back to the car and just went, oh, I don't have the key, I'm going to open the car with the phone. It didn't work. So, oh yeah, and for and I don't know if you heard that, but yeah. So it basically it never. You know how like sometimes I don't know if you get this on the threes, but it'll tell you. If you get into the car and try and drive away, it will say key fob not in vehicle. But for some reason, it let her drive the car away without telling her that the key fob wasn't inside the car. So it was just kind of a Swiss cheese model of of things. Of course, I was up in the middle of the Pilbara with no phone reception in an area, where there's no one around for 100 k's. So of course, I then get some signal, get about 15 missed calls, hoping that I can try and use my app to do it, which of course I eventually tried, but that didn't work. So eventually, Tesla figured it out and said, look, if you log out of the app and then back in again, you should be good to go. So yeah, but essentially, I guess that would have been in that set of circumstances. If the servers had been down and the app wasn't available at that moment, that would have prevented her as well of getting back into the car. So there we go. That's a issue. I mean, look, what are the chances of that happening? When you've just had an MCU1 to MCU2 upgrade, you haven't logged out of the app and logged back in again. I mean,
that's right. So with 1 million plus cars on the road, there'll be a small percentage of people that were using it that way at that time and got caught. For the time the server was out, and obviously it made the news, and hence.
But look, this has been going on for years. I remember someone, delighting in glee at work, a massive pro diesel fossil fuel idiot, and he couldn't wait to gloat at how it was the power steering bolts.
Corrosion.
If you lived in a particular state that gritted the roads with a particular type of salt, then it's possible that you could get accelerated wear on the bolts that hold the power steering rack in. And there'd be like 3 cars that this would ever be appropriate to. But Tesla just changed the entire worldwide fleet of bolts. So James did it whenever we were next in to get something checked or changed or sorted or whatever. So I didn't even. I waited until the Takata airbag needed to be done, and then he just did it at the same time. So it was like, but there are people that either maliciously or just through lack of knowledge, just either want to try. I don't know whether it's a kind of they're fearful of change, or they don't want to. They see Tesla as a threat that it is. The same people would have been around, when everyone had a horse and cart and this, big smelly fossil fuel vehicle turned up that could actually make journeys between towns. So,
yeah, exactly.
No different to 100 years ago.
I mean, and they make a big fuss of recalls. Like NHTSA made a big fuss of criticizing Tesla for not initiating a formal recall notice when they added an extra feature that no car had to that date, which is a few weeks ago, which was the ability to optically recognize emergency vehicles on a highway. And the NHTSA said to Tesla that they expected that they ought to have done a recall notice on a new feature that no other manufacturer's ever done before. And they consider it a defect, even though it was actually an enhancement. So it's just this Tesla thing.
But in China, was it in China that they had a recall because the Chinese authorities wanted them to add a bong when you put the car in cruise control?
Yep.
You get 2 bongs if you put it into autopilot, but because they needed to add the bong, which we've all now got through a software update, that was a recall and then got branded as, you know, this terrible thing that hundreds of thousands of Teslas are being recalled. No, they're getting a software update.
And it's funny because since they've added that extra bong, in my car, if I do autopilot slowly, where you do tack first and then you do autopilot, you almost get the first 3 notes of something like Happy Birthday, because it goes da da da. It just plays this little tune and it's really funny. Unfortunately, I haven't got the rest of the notes to actually make a proper song, but yeah, I mean, you know, the world needs more noise, so hence we've got it, which is actually a safety feature, because at least then if you inadvertently knock the control, you will know that it's either engaged or disengaged.
Actually, I think it is a good thing, but there is a very slight delay, I've noticed. I don't know whether you get it in yours.
Yes.
It's like a half second or delay. It's like, it's perceptible, but is that the same with the 3s?
I haven't noticed it.
Okay. Maybe it's the older S's and X's, or it's an MCU2 feature, or I don't know what, but yeah, there seems to be a very fractional but noticeable delay in when you actually push it. But yeah,
it's almost like it's propagating through the CAN bus system between the full self-driving computer or hardware, autopilot computer, and to the MCU. Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to propagate through. Cool. Has anyone else got any questions or anything topical lately?
Yeah, I've got a question. Is Todd and Gabby, are they at a witness protection? Are they with us tonight, or are they?
Well, that's not actually Todd and Gabby's real names. They're pseudonyms. Oh, here they are.
Here they go. Oh, hey, there he is. Right, witness protection. How you going?
It's the laughter is just so raucous at this end with all Jared's jokes that we just try to keep it quiet.
Had a week or 2 off because I had a sore throat, so got to make up for a few things. That's what I've been doing.
Gabby did have a question about charging cables. I think she sent an email to somebody about borrowing some so we could go south over Christmas, New Year's.
Yes. So the quickest way to do that is going to be to ring me on that number.
Okay, cool.
So give me a buzz and you can borrow at any time.
That's not your credit card number, is it, Harold?
Not yet.
No, they get that as well. That's part of the package.
Yeah.
As being a member of the TOCWA organisation, you get a Harold's credit card. And also in December when you're going, Todd, if you use the credit card, we get more points. So if you could tap it up there a bit, that'd be good. Nigel's doing his best. I'm doing my best.
So where are you guys going down south? Far or just nearby?
Denmark, but we're staying at a mate's place and they're off grid, so we're not sure how much power we can suck out of their system.
All of it.
Which won't take very long. That's right. There are a few options.
What are you talking about? All of it. When do you get your car, Todd?
We're still on the 8th to the 20th, I think it's still showing as. So it'll be before Christmas, just.
That's good. Santa will be bringing it.
Yeah. So there's a few people I think Gabby was saying she was looking through at lunchtime today that have started to got notifications that they'll get them on the 8th or 9th. I heard you talking before, we have got the notification to say we're going to get it out of King Edward Road or whatever it is.
Yes.
Their new
What's King
doodad.
Edward Road?
So that's the new delivery centre. So they're obviously parking them up there instead of parking them up at the Tesla dealership.
Oh, right. Remember that one. Okay. See?
Yeah, that was at the start of the program there, Jared.
Yeah.
That was in the news, mate.
Yeah, I was running a
You
bit
were late to the party,
I was
Jared.
late. I was running late. No. You know,
You're at the gym working on the pallet.
I was at the gym. Yeah, definitely working on the pallet. I drove straight past that gym tonight. I'll tell you. Oh, I felt good.
Best way to go past the gym.
Just straight past it about 100 k's.
You're saving money. So
So
So if you're going to Denmark, what you can do is you got a couple of choices. Were you looking at going the inland route or on the coastal way?
Inland, so yeah, through
So
Williams. and
first
through-
stop at Williams, then Kogin up, and then from Kogin up you can get straight to Denmark easily.
Yeah,
there's
so
not-
I think Kogin up Denmark's about 170 k. So we're probably a bit the other side. So we're sort of Kogin up Denmark return's going to be pretty close to our limit. So we need to find something down there to whether I don't know if it's my mate's solar panels or whether we just pull up at IGA or drive into Albany for a bit and charge up slow in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going, I presume you'll be down there for a little while.
Probably 2 or 3 days, maybe a couple more. Don't know.
Okay, so if you go to Albany, for example, if you go to the visitor centre, which is this one, and it'll come up shortly, that's actually a destination charger, so you don't need any adapters or cables or anything.
Oh,
So
righto.
you can plug straight into it. So if you do sort of a side trip to Albany as part of your break, then yeah, that's certainly a great way to opportunistically charge.
Yeah,
It's in the car park at the back of the visitor centre.
Okay, cool.
And it's free, is it?
It's free.
Okay.
And there's also one at, or a couple at the shopping centre.
Like Carmen knows them all.
At the shopping centre, where's that come?
Yeah.
Carmen.
Just outside. It's a new one where there's new Coles.
New Coles. Oh.
In Albany. Did you say Carmen?
No, I think that was Dunsborough actually.
Oh yes, that's Dunsborough.
Too much vodka, Carmen, too much vodka.
Trying to retrace.
Carmen, did you have a few wines tonight?
And so Todd, if you use that
Carmen?
one, you need a really long extension cord.
Yeah, the Dunsborough one. Yeah,
Yeah.
not wrong.
Falling off the deck already. Look, this
Oh, what's happened?
That's what we were wondering, Carmen.
What's happening?
Well, I don't know. My computer was playing up, so I thought I'd use the iPad. And I am having some technical problems. Not
It's
quite
the
sure
alcohol
where I've
vapors
gone.
Just for reference, Todd and Gabby, Denmark to Kogin is 157 kilometres.
Yeah.
She's back.
Who's the salesperson, Todd? Who are you dealing with?
At Tesla,
Yeah.
I think the guy we've dealt with is Trent mostly.
Okay. Cool.
He's cluey enough, but I think you guys know a bit more about these things than he did.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
So I think the last time we spoke and there was talk about extended range batteries and same motors and possible unicorns and all that sort of stuff. He tried to sell a story to us and then we said, no, are you sure about that? And he went off and I think he went and asked your mate Harry about it and came back and said, oh, no, hang on, different story.
Harry's changed his name. It's Lloyd from the movie.
Which movie could that possibly be, Jared?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. I think it's Dumber and Dumber. You know, Harry's definitely got the same haircut. Harry's a great guy. I love Harry. Yeah, he's got the answers, Harry. He always got the answers.
Harry's a top bloke.
I've never actually seen him. He's a bit like us when we've got this sort of thing going on, but
okay.
You can, I've never actually seen him. I've only ever heard his answers.
Well, think of Lloyd, and that's the man. That's Harry. He's the man. He's the guy.
So you're saying that your friends are off grid. I mean, have they got a decent solar system, or is it sort of a bit light on?
It's going to be a bit light on, and I think since they've installed it, it hasn't actually worked that well, and they can't get tradies down to fix it. So there's, yeah, I think they're having teething problems. It's only fairly new. It's been there last 6 months, but again, they're mostly up here, have had troubles getting it sort of to talk to itself, let alone anything else. There's a little gen set down there that is backup power, but the idea of taking a Tesla down there and having to run petrol gen sets to power it doesn't float the boat, so to speak. So,
yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, if you stop in Albany on the way there and back and just top up,
you'd be fine.
Yeah. So that's probably what we were looking at doing.
Are they planning on using your headlights, Todd, for lighting in the house?
No, I think we'll just burn the house down. It'll make it much brighter. More flame if you burn the diesel gen, the petrol gen set.
Well, you know, you can get 120 watts out of your 12-volt power source, set a little inverter hooked up to it. You run a couple of globes, they'd be pretty happy. We'll find out what's going on. It could be early to bed, early to rise. I don't know.
And early to get out of there.
Well, and the thing is, you only have to go to Albany once. Like, you don't have to go both ways, just if you want. What you can also do too is when you get to Kojonup, what you actually do is when you plan your trip, when you navigate there to Denmark, if you scroll up, once it's got the navigation instructions, because it'll basically predict, it'll tell you what your state of charge will be when you get there. But if you scroll up, it will actually show you what the predicted state of charge will be on your return journey as well, to where you are right now, charging in Kojonup. So that'll give you the idea of whether you'll make it back without any supplemental charge. But obviously, I think Albany is only about 60 k's away from Denmark, so it's not a very big diversion just to go to Albany and have a bit of lunch there or something and top up.
You'll have Harold's credit card, Todd. You just check into a restaurant, and then maybe stay a night in the resort down there. That's what I did last time.
Well, there is that allegedly just out of Denmark. I think there's a spa that's got a Tesla charger. So if he's got a decent limit, I could take a while to wax all this, but I'm going to go.
Unlimited Harold's credit card. Trust me.
That's the Chimes. That's the Chimes Spa Resort.
Yeah.
They do a great leg wax, Todd.
Well, that could take a while.
There you go.
But yeah, you could certainly go there and ask them, or give them a ring before you even go, and say, is it would it be okay if you charge there, and even if you just offer to pay a bit of money for the charge.
Yeah. So I think we'll do a bit of that as well. I think we'll give it a go. Gabby's reckons it's a good excuse to go there.
Cool.
Mani Petty, so I'll give that a go.
Well, I mean, if you're staying, then I'm certain they'd be more than happy for you to top up, and you only have to be there for an hour or two tops, and you've got enough to get back to Kojonup easily.
Yeah.
Easily. So yeah, give them a buzz and see what they say.
Exactly.
And of course, it's good to familiarize yourself with the delivery process. As you've probably heard before, it's lightning fast. So if you're not really in a talkative mood, that's great, because they won't be in the mood for talking themselves. It'll just be very quick. It'll be programming your phone key into one of your phones into the car, Bluetooth and as a key. And then they'll simply ask you if you've got any other questions. And as soon as you open your mouth, they say, no, great, or awesome. Congratulations, here's your car, and we'll see you later. But
so we've sort of seen a bunch of stuff on the interwebs about lists of check this and check that. And, because obviously there were some issues probably in the past, I'm guessing, with paint not being the same color and things not matching. Is that still relevant now? Do I need to do the Poindexter checklist, or is that gone?
You don't. The great thing is you don't need to. Is it 3 months that everyone's got once you get your car? So that
I thought it was
I
1
think
month.
it's
Or
1,000
1 month?
Yeah,
kilometres.
or 1,000 kilometres. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Something like
Nine's
that.
right.
Yeah, 1,000.
so you don't have to worry yourself or stressing out about trying to find the minutiae of any little fault. Just do that when you're relaxed at home and you can just look around the car and just point out anything. I mean, obviously, if there's something glaringly obvious, tell them straight away. But if you sort of can't really see anything, don't worry. Just do that a bit later on at your leisure. And I believe Tesla are quite reasonable as far as, accepting if there's scratches or whatever.
Yeah, we'll do that, and that's good to know. The 1,000 Ks might worry us a bit because I think Denmark return will blow that out of the way real quick, and that'll be in the first couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, but what I mean is you could go home later that day or the next day and then have a thorough look. You don't know what time of day you're going to pick it up, whether it's late in the afternoon or whatever. So you can give yourselves at least a couple of days just to sort of relax, and then you can go over the car more thoroughly, in your own time.
Yeah,
Change
cool.
a few knobs, move a few things around.
Change things on the app and tell them that they're in the wrong spot.
Yeah, exactly. And then ring them up and say, hey, only one reverse light works. And they go, hey, I got it before today. Oh, yes.
Oh, and obviously download your Tesla app. So that's something to do before you get there.
I think we've already got that, haven't we? Is that?
We've got the Tesla app.
Yeah, cool.
Plug share as well.
And
yes.
Plug share.
What was that?
yeah,
Plug share. Yeah, plug share.
I do have a
Yep.
Oh, good point, Alex. And also, Todd, Diamond Rewards. That's Harold's credit card, Diamond Reward, on that app, and you can get some really good points. So,
I do have a question with the charging down at Williams and Kojonup. Can we just use what we've got given with the car? Or do we need special cables?
Yeah, there's no adapter required. So at Kojonup, it's just a CCS connector. What you do need though is to download the ChargeFox app.
Okay.
So just download that. It's a bit hard to see here, but that's a standard CCS cable which is provided with the charger. And I think they're now charging 55 cents per kilowatt hour.
If you're registered with you're a RAC member, you can put your RAC number into the ChargeFox app and get a 20% discount on that. So it brings it down to 54.55.
Is that for all DC chargers, Nigel, or is that just for the ultra fast ones in Treendale and the RAC headquarters?
What they say, it's for all chargers that are on the ChargeFox app. I had to see.
Yeah, right.
That's actually incorrect. So if you look on your Plug Share app, it's only for certain chargers. So it's like Harold just mentioned, I think it's only like about 2 or 3 chargers. So I've just come back from a trip from Augusta and Margaret River and stuff, and that's actually full price. So there is actually no 20% discount on those either.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So incidentally, Todd and Gabby, if this will focus, the ChargeFox is just on the upper right part of the screen.
I'd also recommend getting an RFID card from ChargeFox because there was a time at Margaret River that I actually didn't have mobile reception and I had to actually use the RFID card to charge. So I would highly recommend you get that as well.
You
Do
should
they
get that
post it
now.
out to you?
Apply that now.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do. Yep. So as soon as you register, so you just go onto the website. I think it's chargefox.com.au, and just register. You need an email address and create a password and whatever, and then just go into your account and just order a card. I think they used to ask a question as to why you wanted one and just say for more reliability or whatever, but they might have given up on that anyway, and they'll just post one out to you. So you might as well do that very soon, so you've got plenty of time for it to arrive.
Does that cost anything for the?
No, it's free.
card?
No, it's free.
You just link it to Howard's credit card. No problem.
Oh dear. I only did that once, Jared.
I know, but it's going a long way.
No, that was actually a gentleman that was in Geraldton using Tokwa's fast DC charger, and he couldn't get the Next Charge app to start charging. That's another app as well that you'll need if you want to go up north, Todd and Gabby. It's the Next Charge app. So it's just Next Charge, one word.
I'm not sure we got that one yet. We'll chase that one up.
And then there's also the Smart Charge, and I think Paul is trying his best to maintain focus, but he's just losing it.
Losing it. Turn all the lights off.
Charge, folks.
If you slow down and your phone will, or whatever it is, your laptop, whatever you got, it's not doing it. No, it's just too close. But yeah, so
Next Charge and Smart.
Oh, there you go. Next Charge. Yeah, that looks like a petrol Bowser with a long arm on it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the charge point too much because that company is basically.
No, you don't need that crap anymore.
But Smart Charge is another one if you want to use the fast DC charger at EWA. In fact, there are two fast DC chargers. One is a 50 kilowatt Tritium, which you'll be using at Kojonup, and the other one is a 160 kilowatt Siemens charger that will be online fairly soon in the next week or so. And I think that, incidentally, the UWA one costs about 15 cents per kilowatt hour. It's actually quite cheap for individuals. And I think it's 45-ish cents for commercial use.
15's cheaper than home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of which, as soon as you get your car rego papers, if providing you're not on any exotic Synergy plan, just Google the Synergy EV tariff, and then you just need to flick them a PDF copy of your car rego, and I think something else, possibly your Synergy bill, I think, just so they've got a customer number. And then what will happen is your house will get a 30% discount on all power, entering it between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m.
Yeah,
so that could be quite handy, provided that you bought the car in your natural names and not a business entity. And it's certainly compatible with the standard with the standard solar tariffs and various, and some of the smart tariffs as well, or at least, the solar ones, solar feed-in tariff. So that's something that everyone should do as soon as they get there. You can't actually apply for it until you've got your rego papers, unfortunately.
Excited, Todd, Gabby?
Yep, definitely.
Sleepless nights?
Not quite, but pretty excited. Checking the app for delivery updates all the time.
Just enjoy the car. It's great. It's just good to have fun, you know.
Well, I'm not sure technically we'll actually get to drive it very much the first couple of weeks. There's already a sort of queue of people keen to have a go at it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of young people like it. A lot of kids. They know
I don't know.
what Teslas are.
I got a grey beard. I don't know any young people. All the people are excited that I know are old people.
Yeah, I had a mate at work today. He said, I've overheard you're getting a Tesla. He said his 12-year-old son is just mad for Tesla. He knows everything about Tesla, watches all the YouTubes. I said to him, has he ever been in one? He said, no. I said, well, when we get ours, he can come in ours.
Awesome.
That's
good work.
I have a question here.
Speaking of a 12-year-old son, here we go.
Who is the youngest Tesla owner in Western Australia?
That's you, Alex.
That'll be you, Alex. No joke.
Is that a loaded question?
I actually know of at least, as young as 18. I know a couple who are 18, actually.
Yeah, but Alex is 12, so he wins.
Well, Alex is 12. He's the youngest.
So I know, notwithstanding any 12-year-olds in the house, there are definitely 18-year-olds, at least
Bloody
a couple
hell.
actually. So yeah,
Any time after they're 4, they all have a go.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's sort of interesting. Well, someone who is 4 is almost guaranteed to not have to drive a car
Yeah.
because by then full self-driving will have been solved well and truly.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's pretty exciting. But notwithstanding that, I've got one kid to go. I've taught 3 boys in one car with a very thin clutch plate, and I've insisted they do a manual license.
Oh, wow.
Just in case, and it's just a skill set that you never forget. It's like riding a bike. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to retiring mid through next year, being an instructor. But obviously, their kids, it'll be a totally different game. Perhaps humans won't be permitted to drive because it's just too dangerous, and only cars can do that.
Is that
Just
like
as
Mr. Cooper?
Pete, you've described with the lifts.
Absolutely. Just like pressing buttons on an elevator. We no longer have
The thing is, though, that there's still work times where you're going to need to be able to drive manually. I mean, I drive hundreds of Ks every day on site where, we don't, it's not even a road. We're talking tracks to get out to remote equipment. I mean, there's no way that you could do that. I mean,
Hey,
just the amount of
Richard.
variables and go on.
Richard, one of the FSD beta testers has actually put up a video of his car driving off-road, just on a off-road track.
Oh,
That'd be interesting to see.
oh,
Yeah,
brilliant.
and that was
Works perfectly.
so-
Actually, I took my car off road. Well, it was a section of road that was missing. It was just dirt, and it actually kept autopilot. Whatever you call it, is locked onto autopilot, and it didn't jump off, which is really cool.
Well,
So
what
you can
happens
do it.
if you get to a creek and there's no road anymore?
Well, GPS, mate. You just
Well, then it has
Jump
to make the judgment call whether it's worthwhile doing a creek crossing or not. And
Well, actually-
Teslas do better in water than an internal combustion engine car.
They do, but you know what? With the complexity of Dojo, one little thought experiment I had was, level 5 driving is supposed to be all conditions, everything unconditional. It's as good as a human being for all circumstances. Well, I could sort of imagine that if Dojo is super duper powerful, in some of those edge conditions, the car could basically phone home and ask for extra help. And something like Dojo could help it out very quickly. I'd imagined a couple of years ago that one thing you could almost have is the equivalent of a call center where people could remotely take over your car, like by looking through the cameras and just driving the car for it, or for not so much for you because you could do it yourself, but for the car. And perhaps Dojo could do that. So it could actually take over. Obviously, Richard, you wouldn't have a lot of internet out in the bush, unless, of course, you've
True,
got
yeah.
Starlink, which is another story. But something like Dojo could take over.
I do like thinking of edge cases though, when you're like, say you've got the car in the garage and you're like, oh, I just want to move it over a couple of inches sideways. Like, well, how are you going to do that on an app? Would you get on the app? Would you drag the car picture over in the garage to say, no, I want it exactly here? If you literally have a vehicle that has no steering wheel and pedals, because otherwise you'll be like, oh, that's really annoying.
Well, you probably wouldn't have the car in the garage. You'd just drop you off at home, and then you'd summon it again when you were ready for the next drive.
That, of course, is another point.
But don't forget, like the ultimate end goal here is probably for the cars to be, able to drive on Mars. So, there's no real road infrastructure there as yet. So.
No, and I hear the council meetings are few and far between to get approvals. It'd be a shocker. Nothing ever gets done on Mars.
I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I mean, you know, you've still got atmospheric issues, differences that you still need to. And do you know what? I'm not even going to go down this rabbit hole.
No.
You
No,
just
we'll have
need
to-
to
Well,
you just
I mean,
nuke
it's not
just
an
nuke the poles and then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Never doubt the muskie.
Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question for Joe. Joe, you there? Joe? Joe? Come in, Joe.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's for the sandwiches tomorrow?
I haven't started yet.
Keep us
It's
waiting
work
for us.
first. I got to
You're
work.
getting in
first.
too early, Jared. You're too keen.
You're a bit early, yeah. I've only
all
just
right.
put the kids to bed and now I got to work. So you know.
Okay, all right. We'll have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I have a question. That
Yes,
maybe
Michael.
someone
Welcome
can
back.
answer. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. How do you summons the car?
Have you got the full self-driving?
Yeah, I
ability?
have. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just through the app. So so the menu, so when you scroll the app up, there's a long menu. So controls, climate, location, and the next one is summon.
I've seen that, and I've tried it with the dogs locked in the car, but it's sort of have you got to use that joystick type thing?
No. There's two ways you can use it. So you can either go directly straight forward or straight back at a fairly low speed, or you can do smart summon, which is where you can ask it to go to a target. It won't let you do it in a public space. So if it's a public car park, it won't let you do it, but it will let you do it in a private car park. Now, car parks that are private, any shopping centre, most of the shopping centres are private car parks.
Okay.
So, it's just a council car park. Some of the council car parks it works, others it doesn't. So,
okay. So you just summons it. You get it up on the screen, and what do you do?
Get on the app there, and there's
Yeah.
a forward arrow and a reverse arrow.
Go to target.
So you can use that, but I use it all the time. If I've got a tight parking spot, I just reverse it out and get in the car, so I don't have to open the door.
I did that this afternoon. The
Use it
kids
all the time.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's those two arrows, straight in, straight out.
You keep your finger on the arrow, do you?
Yeah.
And when you take it off, it stops.
Yep.
Exactly.
Or if you stand in front of the car, it'll stop too.
Okay.
I thought Richard that you only had to tap the arrow once and it would just keep
that's it.
moving.
That's how you set it. I've set mine up so I have to have my thumb on it. It's just safer.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
Michael, that's actually a setting. Is that under settings?
That's the default setting, Harold. So I remember doing it and I didn't like it either, Richard. I got rid of it.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. It's got a settings tab at the top of that window, I think. Oh no, you don't. Don't know.
Okay. And my next question is the self-drive thing. Will that be here by the time we're all green, as Morrison says?
It's 2 weeks away, I think.
Is it? It's not 2050 or anything, is it?
No,
Really?
2050. Yeah, who knows?
Any idea when you're going to be finished here?
2 weeks.
How long will it take to put this place together?
2 weeks.
Okay.
So
I'm
it's going to be a
staying-
while, unfortunately.
I'm staying at the Como Treasury at the moment, and I charged my car here for the first time, and they've got a 40 kW charger or something. They're quite fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's free to guess.
What are you doing staying there, Michael? Are you doing a little research or something?
Yeah, on hotels. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Living the good life, are we?
Well, we can't go anywhere, can we?
Yeah, absolutely true.
We can't go more than 300, 400 k's from home. So got to go somewhere.
So does it look like this, Michael?
I haven't seen it. It's in the garage. You just tell them to charge it for you.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, no, that's what it'll be. It'll just be a what's called a destination charger. I don't think there is a fast DC charger, but it doesn't actually matter because when your car is there for a few hours, it'll be full anyway. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
40 kilowatts, which is quite good because I've got a. I think I've got
It
a.
won't be that much, Michael. It'll be
No,
11.
it might be 40. You might be getting 40 kilometers per hour, perhaps, depending on if it's single phase or whatever.
No, it did say 40k, 40 kilowatts.
The
when it
car-
was charging.
The car did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange. It
Oh,
might have been a
ma- ma-
glitch.
No, Harold, maybe Michael, it said you've added 40 kilowatt hours.
Oh, yes.
Down
Yes.
the bottom of the screen, it says charging it. This say charging at 40 kilowatts. It tells you what it's charging at.
Yeah, right. It's not on PlugShare. On PlugShare, they actually have
It's a
they
40.
show
40
co-motor
amp.
Treasury.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
40 amp.
no.
Yeah, 40
Yeah, it's a 40 amp.
40
Yeah,
amps.
yeah, 40 amp.
Oh, well, that says that's 40 amp single phase, but that's different. It doesn't actually do 40 amps; it'll do 32.
Yeah.
But still, it's 8 kilowatts. Yeah, so it's a single phase. So that'll charge your car at about 50 kilometers per hour. So you
Yeah.
know, in 5 hours, you've gone from pretty much flat to pretty much full.
Yeah.
And it's certainly a good thing.
Okay, I'll butt out. But
No. Feel free to butt in.
okay.
Absolutely.
Michael, I've got a question for you, Michael.
Yeah,
Michael, what's the room service like?
it's a nice hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good hotel.
good food.
The
and stuff?
whiskey's good there.
You got a full bar that you got a bar that's got pretty much all you'd like there, and you got nuts and all that. It's about I think it's about how much is this place, Guy? Guy, how much is this place a night? How much are we paying? 600 a night.
Jeez, 600.
Wow.
You got a
That's a
slip slide
that's
pool
a
with that as
discount.
well, or
That's a discount.
it's the jacuzzi package? Or?
No. But no, but it's good. It's good. So,
Yeah, it's great. It's good to
You've
holiday
been
at
to-
home.
Have you dined at Wildflower yet?
Yeah, we have. I'm not impressed.
And
I think it's
Chins,
overpriced.
Chins, I think it's called Chins downstairs, the Asian.
No, long
Yes, that's
long
long
chins.
chin.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's quite good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice there. I've had the
The
And the
post,
post,
The post is fine.
Jinx.
Yeah, the post's
Yeah.
fine.
what did you think of Wildflower?
I thought it was overpriced.
Did you go for
Carmen's,
dinner?
well, it's one of
Go
Carmen's
for lunch?
restaurant.
Yeah, we went for dinner last time. Stayed
Lunch
there.
is reasonable.
Sorry.
Lunch is more reasonable and you can see the view.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, look, it's good to sort of see Perth. It's a bit livelier than what it was. We stayed in another hotel a couple of months ago. Oh no, not a couple of months ago, but 4 weeks ago in Perth.
You can go and walk down Hay Street Mall and see the homeless people.
At
And
night time you
possibly-
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 9 o'clock, you possibly get stabbed if you're lucky.
Yeah, Basil
Some
said
good
he's
packages
cleaned it
going on
up.
At the moment, so.
Yeah.
Ah,
But no.
now that's actually a very good segue. This
What,
is something.
homeless?
No. This was Basil. I've got this button that says Basil Pete, and this is something I meant to do for the last 2 weeks, and I'm finally going to. It was it was the last.
How long do you think all that'll take? Really? Yeah, that's all.
So this goes for about 7 minutes, I believe. It was an interview between a Basil, and a Pete from Triple M, and I'll just let it roll while I take a short break.
So the buzz is around the electric cars. Is
You
an
can hear
electric
that?
car?
We
Okay.
can't-
Well, not bad.
Go again.
Yeah, all good, Harold.
What?
Sounds like a plane taking
Yeah,
off.
Harrier jump jet or something. Jenna drove on the weekend, said it was pretty good, pretty speedy, but didn't do the driving. Zach did the driving. I know one person that owns a Tesla. They're a sort of a work colleague, a colleague of a colleague
Yeah.
almost. But it looks very nice when I've seen it whiz past. Haven't been in it. Don't know much about it. The numbers suggest that 170,000 of us, or there'll be 170,000 on the road in WA by the end of this decade?
My wife just sent me some an audio message, Basil,
Oh,
of
yeah.
all things,
Yeah.
and
Not
suggested
Teddy
that
again at the strippers.
no, he's actually still there.
Okay.
That she might like a Tesla,
Right.
which was nice.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, that was
Okay.
good of her.
Yeah.
And the person who came and fitted the blinds up the other day drove a Tesla, so that was her contribution
Really?
to the program this
Okay.
morning.
So one of the questions, obviously,
Mm.
is has anyone got them? But are they nice to drive? And are there enough charging stations? Because isn't that
Yeah.
the worry?
Well, and how far can you get? Can you get down south?
And how long does it take to charge? So if you were driving down south and then you
Mm.
needed to fuel up on the way back, not fuel up, but charge up, how long would that take?
There's a 2020 Tesla Model 3 standard range, whatever that means, for $67,000 on, and it's done 20,000 k. So I don't know what that means. But,
Basil is in City Beach. Can you believe it? Good morning, Baz.
It's just your phone, mate. I think you've accidentally rang the station.
Hello, Basil.
G'day, how you going?
There he is.
there is another Basil.
Now, firstly, Baz, you live in City Beach. I only live around the corner from you. What are the chances of two Basils so close?
Well, mate, it's serendipity, mate. Serendipity.
Who's the biggest Basil in City Beach on a Saturday morning when you're getting your lychee bowls or whatever you do in City Beach?
When we're going for a swim and a run.
Yeah. Hey, Baz, have you got an electric car?
I'm in one right now. Tesla Model 3 2021
Oh,
in white.
yes.
And it's a lot of fun to drive. I've had
Right.
it for about 5 months.
Yeah.
And the only thing people who buy electric cars say is, why didn't we do it sooner?
Really? So, and why? What are the great benefits then?
They're a lot of fun to drive. They're smooth. They're fast. They're quiet. They look good. Young kids give you the thumbs up when you're driving around.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
happened to me.
Yeah, right.
Are you married, Baz?
Hey?
Are you married?
Yes, married.
Okay. I thought it might have been helpful.
Hey, so what about the charging?
Yeah, charging. And do they drive themselves? I've seen on the internet that they can drive themselves.
Yes, they can drive themselves. That costs a little bit extra.
Okay.
Not quite there in Australia yet, but it's coming. But they do drive a straight line by themselves, and that's a lot of fun too. So you can listen to Triple M more often.
Oh, Baz, well played. How long does it take to charge one up?
At a fast charger, there's one up at Karrinyup Shopping Centre. It takes about 40 minutes from a low range up to about 90%.
And how long does it last you, Baz?
About 350 kilometres.
Okay.
Get your week out of
You
it.
top up about every 3-4 days.
So just for a drive down south sake, so we can sort of compare it that way. You leave Perth fully charged and you're driving to, I don't know, Bustleton or Margaret River, whatever you want. How far do you get before you need to charge again?
You get to Eton, which is just north of Bunbury.
Yeah.
You've probably used half your charge.
Okay.
You can recharge there, and then in Bustleton, there's some charges down there at the beach and around town.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's more and more of them popping up all the time. And
Okay.
I can't wait for the government to build the electric highway, and
Yep.
then they'll be every 140 k's.
Right.
Have you ever fallen short, Baz, quickly? Have you ever been caught in a range where you're not near a charger and you're pretty desperate?
I've learned to live with range anxiety. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got close a few times, and just managed to get there to a charger and fuel up. So, but most of it's done at home or at the office.
Yep.
And we're all going to get into it. It's the way to go.
Hey, Baz, great call, mate. Thank you. A lot of information there, and we appreciate. Well, Basil's a huge advocate for it, obviously.
Yeah.
Now he's got a Tesla, which is a nice looking one.
And they've all said they
Yeah.
should have done it earlier.
But what about, and nothing against any of the other brands, Toyota, well, there's no Fords anymore, is there? Is there? Don't think so. No Holdens? Or there's Fords, no Holdens?
There's definitely
There's
Fords, no Holdens.
no Holdens. What are the others making? And do they look groovy? Because for a while there, the hybrids, I think they deliberately made them look a bit silly. So people didn't buy them.
If someone who uses the word groovy should be an electric car.
You're quite right. Or an electric chair. Pete's in Joondalup. Morning, Pete.
Good morning, guys.
What can you tell us, brother? You got one?
I've got a couple. We've been a 2 electric car family for 5.5 years now.
Oh, beautiful.
round.
What are they Teslas or what's the go?
So what we have now is a Tesla Model 3 Performance and a Holden Volt, which is a 4th generation plug-in hybrid, but we use it as a pure EV because we hardly ever use the range extender.
Okay, and what are we paying, Pete, for one of these cars?
So Model 3 starts at $68,700 odd drive away.
Yeah.
That's a standard range plus. The performance goes up to a little over $100,000. The Holden Volt was 42,000, I think, when I bought it about 5 years ago. It's held its value really well. Still probably get about $25,000 for it.
Okay. Have you had any faults? I've seen on the internet a few like they don't start or a few electrical issues. There are no dramas?
Absolutely none whatsoever. For 5.5 years, we've had basically worry-free motoring. Have not had a single issue.
That's
People
good.
don't realise
Yeah.
with the Model 3, I did the numbers. So first of all, Tesla is the only manufacturer in the world without a maintenance schedule. So it's not going to void your warranty.
Right.
I'm actually part of the Tesla Owners Club. I'm on the of Western Australia on the committee there. And we've got members that have driven around Australia that have gone across the Nullarbor. Our secretary, he's gone across the Nullarbor. He's
okay.
done 190,000 K and he's
Yeah.
never been to a service centre.
Okay. All right. And they're comfortable inside. They do look nice. I must say that. They do look like something a bit futuristic and something that's, I was going to say it again, a bit groovy. Hey, Basil, thank you. Pete, thank you. And Josh and Michael, sorry that we couldn't get to you. So great information. And there's 4 of our listeners who are driving. Well, Michael actually was an electric motorbike, but the other 3 electric cars.
Just need another 169,000.
Must admit, I'm starting to think about it a little bit now. Like if
But you'd need a full drive, wouldn't you?
Yes, so yeah, and there's not one, is there? There's
not-
nothing for the,
not that I know of.
not really for the kids, is there? Oh,
So
well,
stick with the range.
they could walk or ride the bike.
There you go. So good job, Basil Pete.
Yeah.
That was
thanks,
great.
Pete, for passing on the word of Elon to everyone.
Yeah, nice work,
Pete.
Bit of,
And for those that couldn't work out how Pete made that little error in price, it's really easy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what Pete did was,
is CPR. And
well, trippy. What he did was obviously look at a Model 3, and that would have given him the correct price of $66,403.
Yep.
But then he probably clicked onto the long range because he was curious. And then when you click back to the Model 3, the price suddenly jumps up to $68,746. And the reason it does that is if we just go back to the Model 3, we've got the correct price because it's got an option of the standard 18-inch aeros and the 19-inch sport wheels, which cost $68,746. But what happens is, even though you've got the aeros selected, when you click onto the long range, it basically only has the 19-inch sport wheels, which then when you click back to Model 3, defaults or keeps that 19-inch selection. Now, if you go...
It's crazy that you can't get the standard, the aero wheels on the long
I
range.
agree.
Exactly.
Weird.
And when you go to performance, because it's a 20-inch Uber turbine, obviously that's not a selectable option in the standard Model 3, so then it goes back to 66,403. So unfortunately, Pete zigged when he should have zagged, but I don't think anyone really cares because it's still a compelling offering.
I don't think anyone actually listens to that
Please,
radio
Jenny, call
station. Did anyone actually listen to that radio station, wherever they were? The Bogan FM, wasn't it? Is it
Triple M.
Oh, Triple M. Sorry, I thought it was Bogan.
So the background there was I was chasing my dog because he'd run out the front gate, and I've just got him back in, and I was running back in, and I checked where my messages went. One of my mates said they're talking about EVs on Triple M. Give him a call. Here's the number, and I just pressed on the number in the message and went straight through. And I was trying so hard because I was still out of breath. So I was trying so hard to talk normally while still out of breath. But what happened is that morning I was having a look, thinking the time frame is starting to blow out, the prices are going to start going up. And then, and I saw that and went, oh no, it's gone up to 68. So, but Harold, what I did is I looked at the standard range on that website a couple of days earlier. And then I went, I must have gone to long range. And so, picked up the phone. It was in long range. I would have gone to standard range and went to 68,700. And I went, oh, it's gone up. So I rang Harold and I said, the prices have gone up. He's like, oh, have they? And so we're going through it. And then, yeah, Harold was onto that little glitch.
So it's funny. There's a bit of a continuing theme going on because I recall, was it last week or the week before, that you were chasing a sheep? So it seems that you're always chasing after livestock of one sort or another there, Pete.
Sometimes the bigger sheep, sometimes he chases me. So.
Yes, so there is that. There definitely is that possibility.
Yeah.
But you go on, Pete. Sorry, go.
No, you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was So apologies to Basil, the better looking Basil, that we didn't get onto that a couple of weeks ago. In fact, Basil was actually on 2 weeks ago, and I promised him that I would put it on, but unfortunately, I try and weave these things in to the conversation, and I just didn't get the right segue at the right time, and we just skipped it. And last week was busy as well. Obviously, with what turns out to be Pete's famous $20 trillion market capitalization prediction that's locked into the YouTube vault, and we've only got
at least Harold, at least.
20 trillion. Bloody hell.
Stop it, Pete. You'll get me all excited.
I'm gonna say none of us will have to work after that if it hits.
We'll all be effluent, and I always wanted to be effluent.
Be effluent, yeah. I know. I just need it to triple, and then I can retire.
Yes.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. It'll always be.
How long do you think all that'll take? 2 weeks. Really? Yeah, that's all.
Any idea when you're going to be finished?
But of course, anything that we say about Tesla's share price should be considered with this in mind.
The following segment is general in nature and shouldn't be taken as personal professional advice.
Exactly.
Listeners should seek their own independent assessment from a qualified advisor and not rely on the general nature of information in this program.
On the other hand, you might also want to listen to this.
Viewers are advised that this recording may contain references to Synergy, 2 Weeks, and Grimes. Anyone triggered by these or similar phrases should press pause and subscribe to the Nissan Leaf channel.
So there's always that.
Straight out of Jared's playbook, that one.
That's
gold. That's
Hey,
got
Harold,
Jared written all over it.
We haven't seen a screaming blonde today yet, have we?
Oh, actually,
thank you.
We haven't. Actually, good point. You've just reminded me.
While you're doing that, what is the latest news on Elon? Because there's been a few articles written about him lately. The New Yorker. Have you read?
No.
What you talking about, Willis?
Go and tell us, Carmen.
They're all untrue.
Oh, well, there was a very good one with extolling the virtues of Tesla. It was a very comprehensive report, and it was quite good. But then I saw another one querying about the sale of the shares.
That's a tax thing.
Actually, I'll tell you what. We'll clear this this little video, which basically will guarantee that no one in America will be able to watch this video, this episode, and it will get demonetized at great expense to the management. And we'll get right back to that thing about Elon selling shares, Carmen, because that can carry on from what we were discussing last week.
Yes.
But we'll just quickly throw to this as a bit of light entertainment.
I love this song.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang. He shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me
That
Harold,
doesn't get
your
old.
editing skills are getting better and better and better.
Yeah, it's just
But
repeat.
we'll let Carmen tell us what she was talking about, and then afterwards I've got a new one for you, Harold.
Ooh.
Oh, promises.
Just reminded me. Yeah, completely forgot. I was just wanted to ask permission whether we could use the footage first, but been given the AOK, so yeah. So I'll
Right.
try and spool it up, but yeah, Carmen, you tell us what. Over to you.
Oh, I was just saying that the dangers of another stock bubble with the current mania for electric vehicle makers, and they were saying that it was reminiscing of the dot-com boom and bust. So I just wondered what was happening.
That's entirely true, Carmen, but it's actually a bit of a bubble for the other EV makers such as Rivian and others that are effectively benefiting from the reflected glory of Tesla. So, and Pete can go in a little bit more depth into this, but really, Tesla is really the Apple of the car industry. So Apple has less than half, roughly. I think it's about 56% of the Australian phone market, smartphone market, and I think it might be less than 50% of the world's
20%.
smartphone market. Yep.
Yeah, 20%.
But it makes over 90% of the profit.
80%.
80.
Oh, sorry.
80%. What is it? 80%.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
sorry.
I sit corrected. So let's call it only 80% of the profit. You know, so Tesla doesn't have to sell 80% of the world's cars. You know, in by 2030, it's projected to sell 20 million cars, and that might sound fanciful, but it's been growing at more than 50% compound growth for the last few years, and it's projected to exceed that growth. And one thing that Tesla is famous for, or it's uncharacteristic of all the other car manufacturers, is it's very vertically integrated. So it actually produces all the parts, or most of the parts, for that go into the cars. Whereas most so-called manufacturers, they're not actually manufacturers; they're really component assemblers. So they go to tier one suppliers such as Bosch and ZF and others, and they basically they go to the market and they put out various parts or subsystems to tender and try and get the cheapest price for these goods, and then they assemble it together in their car plant. Whereas Tesla builds it and designs it from first principles.
I know they can build a car in 3 hours, and but it's the market capitalization that people seem to have problems with, being 1.2 trillion.
Yes, and this is something that Pete will be able to explain a bit later. That it's not an issue. It's the same thing as Apple's market capitalization.
Yeah.
When Steve Jobs died, and everyone thought that would be the end of it because Steve Jobs has had an on-off relationship with Apple. I mean, he was one of the co-founders, and then he was left. He was kicked out basically, and then he came back in when Apple was almost on its knees, and then for a second time transformed the company. But when he died, Apple's market capitalization was about $600 billion. And now its market capitalization is north of $2.4 trillion. So it just goes to show that one person, doesn't have, all the influence, and people might have written off Apple as a one-trick pony. It did its iPhone moment, but how is it going to continue to progress? But the fact is, it has, and it's gone from strength to strength.
Oh, it's a cup.
Yeah, preach it to us, brother.
Yeah, we all have one. We all have one. Yeah, we all.
It's the word of Elon.
Carmen, I saw that same story in Picture Magazine. So don't worry, I believe you too. It's definitely...
But the Tesla stock is currently plummeting. It's gone
Yes,
down
it's gone down
$21
big,
since close.
Well, now what you should do is sell. Get out now, sell, get rid of everything and sell and get out quick. And
Yeah,
keep
so I
that
can buy
money
some more
safe.
stock.
Put it in a bank, a long-term bank deposit. And when you're 90, you can get out and start enjoying it.
Jared.
That's the way to do it. That's just
No,
straight.
No, we
Speaking
don't
of
want to
putting-
do that, but it is 1109 at the moment.
Yeah.
It did go up. It's still holding. It's okay.
It's currently 1087.
Jim Cramer will tell you.
1109 according to my
No,
watch.
that was at close of business. It's
Okay.
been goodness knows how long, because they could be opening again in about half an hour.
They open in 5 minutes.
But the price is irrelevant. The only time
Yeah.
the price is relevant is if you're looking to sell, or if you're looking to buy some more, or if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
worried about a margin loan, or if you're looking at borrowing against your shares.
Okay. So
Apart from those four situations, the price is irrelevant. What does it matter?
Yes.
I suggest that you just sell it all now and take it straight to the casino and put it all on black.
No, Jared, no.
It's going to come in.
Well, just so that we can remind ourselves of what actually happened. This is what was said last week. So let's get back to predictions. All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go, Russell.
I reckon 2025, 3,000. 2030, 7,000. 7 to 10.
Yeah, I'd say 3 to 10.
Oh, you got to pick a number, mate. You can't. That's a broad.
7,892.
Mine is 2025, it'll be 2.5, and 2030, it'll be 5,000.
Oh, it'll have to be more than
today's
that
prices.
in 5 years, because they will manufacture way more.
Pete.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry,
sorry, which
Pete
one?
Petrosky. No, sorry, Pete Petrosky.
Right. 5 and 20. So by 2025, it's going to be a $5 trillion company. By 2030, it will be a $20 trillion company and larger than most other companies, probably the next 3 or 4 companies combined.
So that's $20,000.
$20,000 by 2030.
Oh.
Jesus. I bet they'd be stock splitting before then. That's for sure.
How do they get to it? 5 and 20 trillion. 5 trillion in 2025, 20 trillion in, and by the way, I'm yet to find anyone who's mentioned 20 trillion by 2030. So yeah, I know I'm completely conscious of the fact that it's completely out there, that, and if you didn't ask me, I'd be too embarrassed to even mention such an amount, but
Actually, Pete, if we just take Tesla's annual production rate in cars today, and that's 1 million cars, and their projected production in 2030, which is 20 million cars, and forget all else, just nothing else, and presuming they're continuing to grow after 2030, then that's all you need to get to that number. That's an easy number to get to.
Elon Musk has actually said that.
Oh, we're back.
We're back from outer space.
We're back. Sorry, I was going to say, so there you go. So Pete, do you want to elaborate or extend some of that?
Yeah, no, look, like you said, Harold, you know, million cars today, 20 million cars in 2030, $1,000 share price today, $20,000 share price 2030. Now, it isn't a linear equation like that, because once they get to 20 million cars, there'll be 20% of the world market for cars, for passenger cars. And you can't, it'll be very hard for the market to apply the same multiple then. But don't forget, we're just talking about cars. You know, Elon has said that energy could be as big, if not bigger. Then you've got, you know, insurance, you've got full self-driving, you've got the Tesla bot, you've got HVAC probably, you've got, you know, by that time, they'll probably be producing an eVTOL, you know, electric vertical takeoff and landing. So, you know, electric chopper, and, you know, and even potentially some watercraft. So, you know, and plus, you know, Rob Mayer had a very good interview with Alex Potter.
Yes.
Just recently.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. And so what they mentioned was that, you know, the shorts would have been right about Amazon if it wasn't for Amazon Web Services. But then what Rob Mayer very clearly said was, yes, but, you know, Amazon's business put them in a position to be able to do that. So, you know, it's, at the end of the day, it's not just, you know, a company, you're making a bet on the management, and not just on the management, but what the management can do with the resources they have. And I think I mentioned on another podcast about 6 months ago, we were talking about FSD and, you know, who's going to solve FSD. And I was saying, look, their closest competitor is Waymo, and we know with full self-driving, it's all about big data. The more data, more real world data you have, the bigger your advantage. Now, Waymo, their closest competitor, is probably somewhere around 2 or 3 million miles that they have of recorded footage, real world footage, whereas Tesla's got 20 or 30 billion. So 2 or 3 billion, sorry. So they've got 1,000 times more miles. So we're talking about resources. They've got 1,000 times more miles of driving. They've got a market cap that's larger or as big as all the car makers now combined. And they can raise money like that. They've got, you know, plenty. They've got several, what is it, still 7 billion in the bank. They've
20.
got, what's that?
20.
Yeah. There you go.
And just by the way, just to highlight this, there were some filings made regarding the Giga Texas factory, and I think the total bill to complete is a bit over $1 billion, which is approximately 5 weeks of Tesla's free cash flow.
Yeah.
Hello.
And that's required. So that $1 billion is paying for a factory that can produce 500,000 cars, and that's costing Tesla 5 weeks of free cash flow.
It may be that Tesla never raises cash again. They may never have to. They could be self-funding from here on and profitable. Yeah. And then at the helm of the company, you've got a guy that everyone's doubted every step of the way, and he's always proved everyone wrong. You know, you don't bet against Elon. You know, he's gone to Russia trying to buy ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, got laughed out. You know, got some books out of the library and learned rocket science, you know, on the weekend and at night. And, you know, now so last year, SpaceX did something like 2/3 of the payload that went into space globally was done by SpaceX. You know, people laughed at him that, you know, he was going to start an electric car company. You know, now every legacy automaker is trying to copy Tesla. I mean,
yes.
Exactly.
Well, he's also realised plus.
So what you're saying,
in the
Pete,
last
is
year, so.
so what you're saying, Pete, is basically sell your shares now, get out, go to the casino, enjoy yourself, and have a great weekend. Is that what you're
absolutely, because I'll be waiting to buy your shares.
Exactly.
Well, and it's funny because Rob Mayer famously would always regret every time he did live maths. But something that Rob Mauer is big on is the automotive margin. And it's a really simple sum. You get 20 million, and the average selling price, Pete's, I think, about $50,000.
Now is, but going forward, you're probably better off working on a 40. By the
Okay.
time you get Model A or the Model 2.
Yeah, cool. So we'll just go 40,000, and we'll pick a margin that's something conservative. I mean, it's radical in the car industry, but let's say 20%. And well, it is more than that, but let's pick 25% as something that Tesla will do. That is an annual earnings of $200 billion. So if you apply a 50 PE to that, there's $12 trillion. There's $10 trillion. And a 50 PE for a company like Tesla is not outrageous.
So just at the moment, it's trading on a P of about 360 times, by the way. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you say the PE would rightly, let's call it plummet or taper down or whatever, a PE of 50 is not outrageous for a company that's producing 20 million cars with a 25% margin. That is outrageous in the parlance of
at a
car
50%
manufacturing.
growth rate.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to talk about outrageous. Look at that screen behind Nigel's head. That smoke coming out of him. What's going on with that? That's outrageous.
It's his thought patterns.
It's actually a scene from a country that has a greater uptake of Teslas than any other per capita, and that would be Norway, in the Arctic Circle.
Thought it might have been the
So
karate-
Nigel was well ahead of the curve, even though Pete likes to sort of put himself at the corner of the curve. But Nigel truly is. In fact, his Aurora is curving as we speak. That being Nigel's.
Yes.
I'm just more curvy.
Mine's a bit of a curve over this side.
It is too. It is too. So Pete, you were saying north of 20 trillion.
North of 20 trillion, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. But when we all had Nokia phones in our pockets and someone said that Apple's going to destroy Nokia and be one of the world's richest companies, I'm sure most of us would have laughed before it happened.
So just think in terms of that analogy, just think in terms of, balance of probabilities. So can we agree that if anyone's going to solve full self-driving, it's going to be Tesla?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Can we agree that if you have a car that costs, a third as much to run as Uber and half as much or a third as much as owning a car, millennials that were born with phones in their hands aren't going to want to drive a car because you'll be taking them away from their screens. They'll just want to be on their phone and have the car drive them somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, if this is the market that FSD is going to be sold to in 5 years' time, can you imagine in 10 years' time any other, I find it hard to imagine 7 or 8 cars out of 10 on the road not being Teslas.
Yep.
But they'll license that software. They'll have to.
But then they'll make more money. And then they'll make and it's software.
It doesn't matter.
It's
so whether it's whether it's a Tesla car by badge or by make or by revenue, who cares? At the end of the day, talking about the share price, so it's dollars and cents.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this little thought experiment, and I'm going to do it live, and I haven't practiced this, so it could be risky. But Pete, you were saying that at 20 million cars, the global replacement rate is 100 million a year. Is that right?
Yeah, it's about 90, or between 90 and 100 million.
So let's say if Tesla can in 2030 license their driving technology, whether it's full FSD or something close to it, and say if they license it to, I don't know, 40 million other cars. So we'll just chuck in 40 million. And then, I don't know, would they license it for maybe, will that be worth $10,000 perhaps? $5,000?
I'd
40
say
grand.
I'd say 50 grand.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, but you know, just the licensing, let's be really conservative. If we just said something like, look, let's just say $5,000.
Well, I mean,
There's 200 trillion, there's 200 million, sorry, $200 billion, which on a 50 PE, there's $10 trillion just on licensing software for nothing. Well, not for nothing, for $5,000.
I have one thought. By 2030, Tesla won't sell cars to anyone. They will own they will own the cars, and it'll just be on the network, and you just borrow a car.
100% agree, Paul. 100% agree. Yeah.
That's the way they're going.
Why would they sell a car? Because the FSD, Elon has said that when it's fully fledged, it'll be worth 100 grand US. So no one's going to be paying 100 grand US unless you're an investor, unless you want it for, cash flow, money-making purposes. If you want it as a means of commuting, you're not going to pay 100 grand. So who's going to buy it? There's not going to be anyone who's going to buy it. There'll be droves of people lining up to pay the $2.50 to go to work.
Hey, Pete, you and I did.
Well, I did too.
And so did I.
I was going to say,
there
us,
are odd
us,
bods.
us
There will
Tesla
always be odd
owners.
people around.
Yeah, but I'm just talking just the FSD. So it would basically double the value of our cars.
Yeah, but we just sell a couple of shares. By that stage, we'll be right.
Well, this is not financial advice, because if you sold a couple of shares, no. What I'm saying is, if you sold a couple of shares in 2030, your cost base would be close to zero, which means that every part of that share you sell is a capital gain.
Yeah.
You'd have to sell 4 to have the profits from 2 to keep.
Yeah.
Which
You could
actually
bring Elon and us best advice.
Well, that dovetails into what Carmen mentioned in the New Yorker as well.
Oh, yeah.
As Elon Musk selling his shares. So obviously he has to sell some shares so he can take up the options which do lapse. Now, I think some of these options lapse in March next year. So he obviously had a bit of time. But Elon is great at reading the tea leaves, and he's also great at stirring up emotions in lots of different people. Some rightly, some less so. But, in one of his tweets, as we mentioned last week, he actually said that rather than being tax minimization, what he's more like doing is tax maximization. And obviously for someone in his position, as literally being the world's richest human, he can afford it. He doesn't care if he pays a bit extra tax. For the rest of us mere mortals, obviously, as Kerry Packer famously said, anyone that doesn't aim to minimize their tax is an idiot, because after all, the government doesn't deserve to have extra.
It's not like they're doing such a great job that you should.
Yeah, such a great, precisely. Yeah, it's exactly right. But Elon can afford to make a statement and basically say that he has paid extra tax. I think, as Rob Mauer quite rightly pointed out, unfortunately, the way it's sort of been presented, Elon does come across as sort of seemingly whinging about it a little bit. So some of that intent has sort of been undone, or that spin or whatever it is. But yeah, for us mere mortals, we would obviously want to minimise our tax as much as possible. And that obviously means, not trying to realise large capital gains, anytime soon. But thankfully, unlike the American tax system, the Australian tax system is a lot fairer, or better on things like, there's no inheritance tax.
So far.
Oh, well, I think they used to be in the dark ages, but that's all gone, and it doesn't seem to be coming back anytime soon. But look, it's going to be a hell of a ride in the next. Well, it's only 8 years, Pete. We've got to wait. I mean, your prediction was 5,000 at 2025. I forget Russell's. It was sorry, his was 3,000 in 2025, and I think 7,892, something like that.
What happened to Russell?
Russell had to leave us. He got busy. So it's actually in the chat.
Harold, I'm less sure about the 5,000 by 2025, but more sure about the 20,000 by 2030.
Yes. So 2025, because Kathy Wood, she's 3. Is she 3 in 2025? I think she's 3,000 in 2025.
3,000. I think she was predicting
So-
Tesla 3,000.
So Pete, you might literally be slightly ahead of the curve on that price.
Obviously.
Literally.
Oh,
Which is obviously entirely appropriate because that's what the banner says above your head as we speak.
it's just champagne around here tonight, isn't it?
But when's
So-
the stock split? That's the question. When's the next? When's the next
champagne
stock
around here
split,
tonight.
boys?
The next now, actually, Rob Mauer spoke to this. There was conspiracy theory talk about
Yeah, it was great.
analyzing various tweets that Elon has put out. And it's early December. Was it the
12th, is it?
12th or something
No,
of this?
9th to the 12th, so 12th of the 9th. Yeah. so
Right.
9th, 12, yeah.
Something like that. And look, to be perfectly honest, I'm quite upset at Tesla for not doing a 10-to-1 split in the first place, because that would have made it a lot easier to do all your maths and stuff. Doing a 5-to-1 was sort of crazy, but yeah. Anyway,
At least they should have done a 6.942 for one.
Yeah.
yes, well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You're not a well man, Pete, are you? You're just not a well man. That's
Hey,
great.
I've got this things pulled up. Speaking of not being a well man.
Oh, yes. Actually, I'm going to, before you do, are you going to screen share it?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
Is that when you? Okay, cool.
Mm.
Yeah. Ready for it now?
Absolutely.
All right. Here we go. Oh, God, what's happening now? I thought I had it ready to go. Let me try something else. Sorry, 1 second.
That's all right. We'll just play a bit of elevator music in the background.
Well, in the meantime,
Yeah.
no, Jared. When I woke up this morning.
Now, here we go. Shush. Here we go. It's coming. All right, go, Pete.
The red one doesn't go too.
You've been warned.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna press my neck back to the back. Yeah, exactly. I'm putting my head down. Holy shit! Oh man, close the eyes.
There's another 2 weeks in the garage, Pete. He's in trouble. That's trouble.
Oh god. Oh goodness. Yeah, why am I in the front? I feel finished. Oh, that's brilliant. This
Excellent.
You're pretty smooth with the girls there, Pete, I've got to
There's
say.
another 2 weeks in the garage. Easy. That's trouble.
What do you think all that'll take?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Exactly.
Any idea when you're going to be finished here?
2 weeks.
How long will it take to put this place together?
2 weeks. I do get the permits. How long will the job take? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks? You sound like a parakeet.
2 weeks, Pete. That's what it'll take.
Where's the new 2 weeks, Harold, that Pete sent you?
Sorry, say again.
Pete sent you a new 2 weeks.
Oh, the total recall one.
Oh,
There you
yes,
go.
You gotta put that on your board.
I didn't do my homework on that.
Next week.
I'll have to have that next week. Yes. Yes, I do remember watching that so many decades ago. But yes, and there's a couple of variations of it too. Yes. Well, you could just talk amongst yourselves and I could do my best effort to find it. So is there any other questions or topics or anything
I'm
anyone
not
can think
related
of?
to Tesla, but
Yep.
can all you gurus tell me a potential reason why my pool emptied all of a sudden by itself?
A
You
leak.
pay the pool boy? What happened?
I don't have one.
it emptied itself.
Yeah,
Very
got
strange.
You've obviously got a leak.
I'm filling it up. No, well, it was too sudden though. It was overnight. It's not like a small trickle or going down gradually.
Come on,
It just
Your neighbour
went.
came and stole the water.
Carmen, what sort of pool is this? Did you get it from Kmart or what are you talking about?
It's one of those Russian ones, Jared.
It's a Russian pool.
It's a concrete pool, but it's very strange. It was fine last night, and then this morning when I woke up, there was only about 300 mils of water instead of 1.6 meters.
Carmen,
And,
when's your pool pump set to go? Does your pool run
well, I
overnight?
turned it off actually, the chlorinator.
Yeah, but the
I
pool
had
pump.
turned it off.
So if you
Is it a concrete pool or a fiberglass one?
Concrete?
Yeah, you've got to crack in the concrete.
No, but it can't go. There was no water anywhere. There was no water anywhere. It went into the sewage system, and I have got a. If you're doing a backwash, the water comes out into the garden, but there was no water anywhere. We're talking about 1.6 deep by 3.5 meters square pool. There's a lot of water.
But Carmen, if you've got an underground, pipe, right?
Yeah.
And it's got it splits, and then the pool pumps overnight. It'll empty the pool into the dirt, into the ground.
Yeah.
And
Really?
soak away.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
only
running
way
a
you
big
can lose that
sprinkler
much
for 8
water
hours.
Is a helicopter fly over and suck it up. That's the only in the bushfire area. That's the only much we lose that much water.
Well,
So
There's no
you've lost it
bushfire
two ways,
Fiji.
Carmen. To be serious, you've either got a split in your pool, which you'd see if it was that big, or you got a split in a pipe and your pump was running overnight, and you've just pumped the water out.
Or
no, the pump was not running overnight. It was off.
Okay.
And what I've done, I called the local pool shop, and the guy came and said he couldn't find anything wrong with it. And I've just filled it. I'm filling it up now. I have to wait another hour.
So
Because-
Carmen, how empty was it? Was it completely empty?
300
mils in the bottom.
Okay, so the thing is, the pump. There's a couple of issues. Do you have a solar heater?
No,
Right, you got a standard pump. So the standard pump draws the water from the skimmer box. So
Yeah.
as soon as the water level, goes below the skimmer box, there's no way for it to suck water into it.
Yeah, unless
So-
it's got a bottom. We had a concrete, and it had a skimmer box, and it had a bottom. You could draw from the bottom or the top.
Right. Well, I don't think Carmen's one would have that because mine hasn't, and hers. She'd been in an older house where you've
No,
got that
it's not
safety.
older.
Have you got like
Why
a
would you ever
safety?
Draw from the bottom, Richard.
Or it just did it. You could draw from the bottom or the top. So you could either have it sucking from the bottom or from the skimmer box.
I've got a pond attached to it. So it doesn't, the pipes in the wall,
it's not.
it was at the lowest level of the pipe that runs the pond.
It's
Ah,
a
so it's
mystery.
gone down to a pipe, has it?
Yeah,
Right. So there is an outlet 1 foot above the bottom of the pool.
yes.
Right. I think that's
Well, there you go. So that outlet's broken. That pipe is broken, and the water will just push, and it's a bit bad because it'll probably push dirt away from it as well as it's flooding into it and displace dirt. So you've got a broken pipe, Carmen. That's all it is.
So what Harold's saying is, so by refilling it now, you're
just make it
potentially
worse.
exacerbating.
Well, I'm testing it out because the guy that came out said he couldn't see anything wrong. So I'm filling it up, but I'm not putting the pump on tonight.
So has it gained
What happens-
height? Has it gained height, Carmen? Is it filling up?
Yes, it's nearly to the top. I've got to wait 1 more hour before.
Carmen, Carmen, the guy that came out, did he have a dog and a long stick with him that was white? Was he just doing braille, or what was going on, Carmen?
So you're going to just leave the pool pump off for a while and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to leave the pool pump off tonight, fill it up and see what happens by the morning. But it was very weird because there's no water anywhere.
Well, it's soaked down into the ground, and it's a big.
Yeah, it could go.
I think it's gone into the sewage.
No, it just gone into just soak away. I mean,
Yeah, straight into the ground. It's because we got
Yeah.
gutless sand, so it just goes straight through.
Just go forever.
There's a whole heap of Chinese people directly
Straight
below
down
your pool that have got water coming through their ceiling now.
They're all complaining. My pools are filling up. My pool's filling up.
Now,
Pool's
now,
overflowing.
some people may think that it takes quite a while for that to happen. Carmen's seen it's fairly quick, but others may say it might take as long as this.
That sounds like a segue. Oh, here she is.
Oh, here we go.
So how long do you plan to stay on Mars? 2 weeks. Have you brought any fruits or vegetables onto the planet? 2 weeks. Excuse me? 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Things are getting hotter. Snake, no tribinium is going out, and it gets worse. The rebels don't. Boy, there's no way to do it.
Did she buy a Nissan Leaf?
She probably did. She probably did. Because a Nissan Leaf doesn't make sounds like this. Or nor does it make this sound.
That'll be Damo down the track.
It will be. 3.2 seconds. Go Damo.
It will be.
Welcome, yes. Welcome, George and David, who's listening in. Well, it could be Susie as well, but I think it might be David. So welcome back. And Rob.
What's happened to Chris Lim? Is he in the witness protection program?
No, he's just lurking like Joe because they've probably got work to do, unlike us. Because all we have to do from time to time is just look at Tesla's opening. Oh no, it's a little bit down. It's okay. We'll look at that later. It's not awesome. 1,091. Oh well, it's okay.
He just, these things come up and down, and later on they'll be up. And
Exactly right. As Pete would say, anyone that sells shares, he'll buy them off you
that's exactly right.
at a discount.
At a cheap rate.
Just to change the subject. Last night at the movies, I met a new chap, and his volume control wasn't working on his left scroll wheel. So I said, "Oh, let me have a look. I love fixing things." So I went over, and yeah, the thing would move on the dash, but it wouldn't make any difference to the volume. You see? I said, "Oh, okay." So I was thinking, well, you should do a service call. But I thought, oh, let's try something. So I said, "Have you reset?" I've done a reset. Didn't make any difference. I said, "What about a hard reset?" He said, "What's that?" So I did a hard reset by pressing the buttons and foot on the brake until it went right through up to the T, and it fixed it. It was all good. So that's a little trick for people. If you don't know about the hard reset, it might fix them. So
Yeah, and I think you don't actually have to put your foot on the brake. You've just got to do the timeout. So you've got to hold it until you see the T,
all right.
as opposed to when you see it
Yes,
going
go.
black.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish
I
they
think-
did a hard reset on that projector last night. It was so bloody good. Like, vision quality was amazing. Shows what our grandfathers had to put up with back in the day.
Well, you know, back in the day, 1974, if your lamp was too bright and the film stopped, it would just melt right through the film.
Oh, have you seen that? That's awesome. I love that.
Yes, I have. I saw that in Karratha once. Happily, it wasn't Star Wars, but it was some other movie.
No, I enjoyed last night. I thought it was good. I thought it was just great to step back in time, and you know, it's good to see Richard Cooper when he was 17 again at the drive-ins, and it was just so good. It was just I miss Carmen though. Carmen said she was coming. I reserved a spot.
No, I didn't.
You said you was coming. You said I'll be there. I know someone who owns that land, and I'll be there, and I'll be coming.
No, you missed it, Jared.
If you remember, Anne
said she'd be
said to
Carmen.
you, we have a dinner and movie night with a group.
See, I think Richard was dead on. What Carmen actually said, Jared, was "I'll be Carmen," not "I'll be coming," because she is Carmen.
Fair enough.
Very good, very good. Yeah, no, I thought it was a really good nostalgic night last night to get back to, some high technology cars with some old fittings, old projectors, it was really good. I thought it was.
Oh, I've got a question for you. I'll probably never go to the drives again, but a couple of times my car shut down and turned the volume, the sound off, so I had to sort of get it going again. Happened to anybody else?
Yeah, we noticed because we could see your lights turn on.
Yeah, what you do, Richard?
Yeah.
Camp mode.
Yeah, put it into camp mode, and then put it onto go to display and put it onto screen clean mode.
Yeah,
so
I
you
had
don't
to-
have,
Yeah,
so you
right.
don't have to look at the campfire in your
Okay,
face.
mate.
Everyone was doing that last night. Cars all over the place. Wasn't it?
And
I
they,
thought there was
they
an
were
old
especially
car that would turn his lights off. Remember that, Howard?
yes. But I was thinking that they were especially doing these sort of manoeuvres in certain burnt orange cars.
Look at those 70 twigs.
Yeah, those legs are damn sexy. Who's that standing next to you, Harold? Who's that other guy? I know it's my wife, but who's that other guy there? Who's that?
I don't recall.
Who was that? I can't remember.
I don't recall.
Okay. There you go.
There you go. But another burnt orange. So Damon, just in case you think that I'm picking on you, you don't have the only burnt orange car, I'm afraid. There are two in Perth, at least. And by the way, you might get all technical and go, oh, but the color cast is wrong. It's like, look at those faces. They are proper. That's a proper face. That's natural color. That they are real human beings.
Really? No, I think that's a Tesla bot with a bus battery system. I think it is.
Oh, extended range.
Extended range, it was. So
long
Well,
range.
it's
That's
like-
it.
It's David here. Can I ask a question?
Yes, David. Of course.
We
And welcome back.
Hi, Susie.
Thank you. We regularly go down near Bunbury, and the car goes beautifully, of course. But last week when we were coming back, it suddenly went off cruise control, and we stopped. We pressed all the. We didn't do a hard reset, but we did the soft one. And we drove again, and it just wouldn't come back. So 100 k's later, we were driving through Fremantle on the way, just finishing our trip home, and it suddenly started working again. Any reason behind that?
So you went in the autopilot sin bin where you get a message that says was it just just cruise control or also autopilot or both?
We're on. You can't get both until you get to Pinjarras.
No. As soon as there's a properly marked any well marked road, and you'll be able to use autopilot.
Regularly, when we get to Murray River, there's a little message coming up saying you will run out of autopilot in a short time, and then bang, it goes.
Anyone else heard that?
I've not seen that. That that's really interesting.
No, Harold, what it does, so when you're on navigate on autopilot
Yeah.
and you get off the shoulder of the freeway or the highway, it will tell you that it's going to be turning off navigate on autopilot. You're
Yeah,
still
just
on
over-
autopilot, just not on navigate on autopilot.
So what you'll see on the screen is rather than just a solid blue line in the center of the lane, you'll see two blue lines or a blue line either side marking out the lane. Perhaps that's what you might have
Yeah, we
seen.
switch over, but we lose the navigate bit.
Yes, but you still have conventional autopilot, so it'll still steer by itself.
Well, yeah,
And-
but when we were coming back, we lost all that. We had to actually drive the car ourselves. Such an effort to have to
Well, it's-
turn the press the pedal down.
Well, I totally agree, and it's quite arduous and it's unfair. It's verging on inappropriate, disquietly.
Rebellion. I thought it was rebellion.
And
Yeah.
it's certainly not safe.
Look, I've had my car glitch a couple of times. I mean, I've inadvertently gone into the autopilot sin bin where it's reminded me, and once it sort of does beeps and stuff and warns you, it'll disengage, and then it'll refuse to go into autopilot. Although I think it still does traffic aware cruise control. And the way you stop that is, the quickest way is you pull over safely and then just jump out of the car. So just basically turn the car off effectively, close the door, and then jump back in. I think you can just put the car in park and then back into drive, and it'll get you out of the sin bin. But I mean, there was a place on the way to Jurien Bay, right near that halfway between Perth and Jurien Bay. There's like a tourist toilet thing on the west side of the road, so up a slight hill. And for some reason, for quite a few trips, autopilot would clag out just on that sort of bend for some mysterious reason. But yeah, it's certainly interesting, David.
Well, next time we'll stop the car, we'll jump out, we'll shut the door, get back in again. And
Yes,
if it still
yeah.
doesn't work, I'll do the hard reset and just keep my fingers on until the T comes back.
Oh, we did that.
No, we just
Yeah.
did it until we got a black screen.
It's sort of interesting. Yeah, look, it might just be a one-off. It might just be one of these out of the blue things that happens every now and then, but rarely.
And it might be something similar that happened to me that I shared a little while ago, where if I go for an hour and a half and then I supercharge the car and then the car would try and kill me, it would steer over the middle of the line and I couldn't run it for 20 minutes on autopilot. And the bottom line is I got a new computer and it fixed it.
Oh.
So be aware that it may be a hardware glitch.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably not, but it happened to me and I had to get a new computer.
When the front
Yeah.
of your car is covered in those little insects that we get from time to time, that doesn't do any harm to any part of the car? I mean, apart from the Duco?
Not as bad as the insects. No, they suffer more than you do.
Although one point there is, if perhaps your front cameras had a particularly big bee or bug or locust or something, that could have affected the vision. Although you would have had actually, I don't know if the 3s do the same thing as the S's and X's, but you get like a triangle warning notification that says autopilot unavailable due to obscured vision or something, a similar
we've
sort
had
of.
Because especially when it's very misty, you know, when you go through a rainstorm or something, and the window's messed up, but so does the cameras, I think.
Yep.
And then after it warms up or travels for a bit. Anyway, we'll see what happens. That's the first time we've had that loss of
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, if you could next time try and document it. So take a photo of the notification if it stays there long enough.
Yeah.
Or what you can actually do, I'm going to try and do this live, which is very risky, is go into notifications, which I hope will be on here, I think it's the bottom menu. Was it service? Yes, notifications. So if you click service and then you tap on notifications, it'll show you the last few notifications that the car has created.
Okay.
Although, I mean, it won't work now for you, David, but while it's happening, if it disappears, you can at least capture it and then take a photo of it.
Yeah.
So that's...
I'll tell you another astonishing thing that happened with mine when I had these glitches. They said, tell us the time of the day, the hour, and okay, because I took a picture of the screen and then it was time stamped. So they said, oh yeah, so they just sent off to America and they looked at my car. That was a month ago, and they looked at the logs of my car a month ago. That's nuts.
Yes, there's a lot of logs. It's
nuts.
Yeah, yep,
Just
absolutely.
crazy.
And the weird thing too is, which is what was the cause of the undoing of the old media control units in the S's and X's, was that all of these notifications are in human readable text. Like, it's not a 2-byte code. It's, autopilot camera, left hand front autopilot camera obscured, and it's all in human readable language. So it takes a lot of storage to store all these logs, and then they get pushed up the line, which is quite interesting. And speaking of which, I think I've said this before, but the way Tesla makes the cars, all the bolts are fitted and nuts and all that sort of stuff. They are torqued with these Bluetooth connected torque wrenches that cost in the order of dozens of thousands of dollars each, and they actually record with minute detail the actual torque profile as that nut or bolt or fixing was fitted, to the point where you actually see the torque level increase and then it cuts out at the correct level. And every single one of those items that have been fitted to your cars, and each and every one of them is logged at the mothership. So they can go back years and years and go, oh, well, this problem happened because our torque setting wasn't quite correct.
But we don't get a record in our car. We wouldn't have a record in our car itself, though.
Not in the car, no. This is at Tesla's. This is in in Tesla's database.
Yeah.
So there would be a record.
A lot of information.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's astonishing.
Do you think, Harold, that maybe Tesla might better fix Carmen's pool?
Well, if I had enough information, they could get Dojo onto it and work it out. It's interesting. The thing is, you always apply Occam's razor, and Confucius say where water sinks down to level of lowest pipe, then pipe has problem. So yeah, definitely.
Don't add more points, is that what you say?
Oh, to be
And,
followed on. Oh, how funny.
So, Carmen, you need to get a new pool company in. That one-stop blind shop is not you. You need to get that new company in to come out there and fix it.
No. I'll be able
There's
to,
no problem.
we'll be able to deduce by tomorrow if the water's still in and it continues as normal. Then I don't know. We'll blame the gremlins. If it doesn't, it should give us another hint, shouldn't it?
Oh, actually, something that could be, just thinking out aloud, is you have a feed at the bottom. The pipe probably goes upwards, across, and then possibly it could almost go down, which means it won't siphon until there's water flow. And you won't get water flow until you turn on whatever it is that is.
The filter.
Well, yeah. So there could be a crack in the low side of the other side of a siphon, and it doesn't start until you start the pump, and it won't finish until it's empty. So you need like that trigger to siphon it. So yeah, it's that. So it might still be a crack, but the crack isn't on the wet side. It's on what's at the moment the dry side, which will become wet when you turn the pump on for the first time.
So-
But it
so
won't be the
Carmen,
pump.
What they do is they put a bit of dye in the water near the outlet, and if everything's turned off and the dye disappears, it means you've got a leak.
So where does the dye go? In the water?
Yeah, they drop a bit of dye near where they expect a possibility of a leak.
But there
And if the-
isn't any evidence of any leak. Have a
Now,
look at
but
your
hang
mobile,
on,
Harold.
Carmen, there's no evidence because it's sitting on this thing that's 10,000 miles across and it's a big sponge and it sucked up all your water. It's called the Earth.
Okay.
So it's just dropped down to the water table. So they put a bit of dye there and it just goes out and it gets sucked out and goes down into the water table.
Yeah, but if we have dye and there is no leaks anywhere, how can we see the dye?
No, there will be a leak. So it's not leaking at the moment, right? So obviously you can you'll finish filling your pool tonight in a
Yep.
half an hour or so.
Have you
And
checked it? Because you might have no water in it now.
Yeah, I've
No, she
just
did.
checked it. I did.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So what you'll find is it'll probably be totally fine overnight, and then
Oh.
when your filter pump starts,
That makes
it may start dropping while it's pumping, or it could actually. There's a possibility that it won't actually drop while it's pumping because while it's sucking, it'll stop the water from going out the crack, and it'll just keep circulating it fairly well. And then when the filter pump stops, then there won't be that suction, and then the water will just leak through the crack, and it'll siphon out the crack. It's a very interesting subject, actually.
What are you laughing at, Jared?
Oh, it's just starting to sound like a bad movie. Like really.
But if there was any evidence of anything unusual or water would be good, but I could put a dye in and see if it's
The tool company should do that.
Yeah, what Richard said is very true. So let's just say the water level is slowly going down, and you don't know where it's going. They'll just jump in the pool or use a stick or whatever with a little container that's got a slight crack in, a slight leak, and it's got dye, and they'll just drift the dye around obvious places. And if the filter pump is off, so it means there shouldn't be any water circulating, and they waft it near that pipe, and then suddenly the dye gets drawn into the pipe. Well, then they know that there's water entering that pipe. Now, obviously, it's leaving into the ground, and like I said, because we haven't got clay soil like Melbourne and stuff, where it'll probably float to the top or rise up to the surface. It'll just be sinking into that gutless sand we all have that goes straight to the aquifer. So
a lot of water.
it is absolutely, and
it's a big
not cheap.
aquifer.
In fact, I'll know by my next bill.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be almost as high as your insurance cost, Carmen.
That's the best one tonight, Harold.
I haven't quite got the boom tish actually. No, I haven't got it. I don't have the boom tish. But anyway, alrighty.
Just to make you feel happy, Carmen, a friend of mine's getting a Tesla Model 3 Performance this next batch, and he got a quote for his $100,000 car, and it was $900 from the RAC, just to make you feel better.
Oh God!
How old is he?
That's
How old is he?
unbelievable.
Oh, he's 1 year. He's 65.
Yeah, there you go.
You get such tremendous variation in the prices.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And if
just
you
make you
bring
feel
up
better.
tomorrow, you probably get a different one.
That was with the RAC.
And he lives in Belga, Carmen.
I didn't get a reply to my letter, but maybe I'll make a call sometime when I'm in the area.
I tried NRMA because they're in the state now, and I got a bill for the Commodore this week, I think, and NRMA was $3 dearer, so they might be a good alternative. But that's with the Commodore. I don't know how they go with Tesla.
I got my quote with RAC this morning, was $11.70.
That's not bad.
That's not too bad.
I would have paid
Did you
that.
tell them when you were driving it, Damien?
1,300.
Damo?
Yeah.
You tell them you're going to take it on the track?
No.
No. You just
What
drive it
colour's
on
the new one,
Sundays.
But mine was 1,700.
Really,
That's
Carmen.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yes, I sent a copy to Harold to make it authentic.
I think we need
Yes.
an insurance lobbyist so that we can go get a better company.
Correct. That has been discussed, actually.
I think it's an important point, but
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I 100%
Absolutely.
agree, Pete. 100% agree.
Don't forget,
NRMA
we're
might
actually,
make them come up a bit. I think if the competition's good with NRMA, it may have some effect.
Why
Because
not?
mine this year was expensive.
just to put it into perspective, we were very lucky in WA. RA Series rates are actually really good
Yeah,
compared
they
to.
vary so much, Pete. They vary a
True,
lot.
true. But
Yeah.
if you have like in the eastern states, you won't get a policy under $2,000.
Yeah.
$3,008, I think, from SGIO.
Yeah, mine was 3,500. 3,500 from SGO. I couldn't believe
That's
it.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
And that's
3,500.
the sister company to NRMA.
Yeah,
that's why I
absolutely.
went with RAC on that one, you know. But and tick the box of car hire for the period of the car getting repaired.
Oh, I didn't do that because it
$67.
had so much more.
It was only $60-something, I think.
It was for me, but when Mark checked his, it was like 130, 140 bucks. So I couldn't figure that out.
You old retired guys get it so much cheaper than us young guys. You know, it's just
We've already paid. You haven't paid your due yet. Sitting back there like Jackie. You got to do some work.
We wouldn't want to say anything condescending like you've only got to drive it to the bowling club and back, and
yeah, that's why.
which actually, Pete, for you, I reckon you could just walk to your bowling club.
I can. It's across the road.
Absolutely.
Gold. Absolutely.
Oh dear.
Well, you can almost walk there too, Harold. It's not that far.
Well, it's for me. It's downhill, but it's a bugger of a walk back up the hill. I'll give you a giant tip.
Especially after you've been there.
But I believe the beers are at 1974 prices. So you know.
Hey, Damo, what are you doing at the racetrack, mate?
I just went down for the street meet. I'm back at home now.
Oh, right. Yeah, I used to just take my Lotus down there. It was good fun. And the Tesla.
No,
was
what's the colour of the new car?
Black. Black.
So what colour? That's going to be the number 2 burnt orange, is it? Or
beautiful.
You're going to get it wrapped. You're going to get it wrapped, Damo?
No, I don't think so.
He's just going to get some flames put on the side. Is that right,
I
Damo?
wouldn't mind some sort of protection for the bumper because I'll be on the highway pretty much every day. But
get
see
some
how
paint
it goes.
protection film, mate. Get some PPF.
Paint protection.
Yeah. Especially if it's black, it'll just chip and have all these white dots all over it.
Yep. So I want to try and avoid that happening.
If you're going to do it as soon as you get the car, mate, because your first stone chip, you won't enjoy
well, if
it.
you're in front, Damo, you won't get any stone chips.
So like that ceramic coating, Richard?
No, that's just to keep it looking pretty. You need paint protection film, which protects the paint. You can't chip it. Well, you shouldn't chip it.
Okay.
Yeah, do some research on that, mate, before you get the car.
Yep.
Look, otherwise you'll need to...
Is this that PPF stuff or whatever?
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a look.
It's not cheap, but it's worth doing.
It's not cheap, but it's my car's just, it saved me three times. I've had it would have needed painting if I didn't have the PPF on it. So certainly paid for it, though.
Otherwise you'll have to do something like this.
Yeah, but he doesn't want red on. He's getting a black car.
Yeah, well, that's true too. He's got the right colour glove, but.
And if you believe that, I think you believe anything.
Well, Chris is saying that it works.
No, yeah, I'm sure it works, but I'm sure they've taken a picture of it, then painted it, and then not shown you the after. They've shown you the after before.
And Chris, you there, Chris?
I can't believe it will be.
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Chris, what's the, did you have any issues with the paint, the 3-pack?
No, it's actually, I found it really, really good. And
Yeah, that's
four
awesome.
of my other mates have it as well, and they swear by it. So
Yeah,
it's really, really good.
there you
But,
go.
there is a YouTube video. So Harold, if you click on buy, I think that sends you the link on the how-to video, and that's the YouTube video. It shows you actually how to apply it. But yeah, it is like a 3 or 4 step process.
Click on buy. Oh, start order. Okay.
Hey, Richard, I've got a question for you and Pete. Like when you went to the track, you were saying that you've run 11.4, yeah?
Yeah.
So was that on the standard 20-inch wheels?
No, I've got 18s, and so's Pete. His is a stealth.
Okay.
Mine's
Yeah, because
18s.
I saw Pete's and I noticed that. Do you reckon that made a difference to the time going on the smaller wheels?
I don't know. I'm just better than Peter. 0.2 of a second. But I've got a tow bar on mine, so it's a lot heavier. I've got no idea. And I ran my fastest time when I was about 75% charged, not more. So it was all weird.
Yeah, but Richard Cooper's a very small man. He's like a jockey.
I'm like a normal person.
So he's like very lightweight. Yeah,
I was going the smaller wheels. I think would that'd be one of the only things that you can do is like changing the diff gearing sort of thing. By going
the
smaller
rolling
wheels.
radius is the same. It's just they're lighter.
Okay.
And I've got even lighter wheels now, so no one's going to beat me in a Model 3 now.
So Richard, well, I mean, how could you can't really get the car lighter?
Yeah, if you take 5 kilos off a corner off a wheel, it's like taking 20 kilos off the body of the car.
And that's angular momentum too. So it's yeah.
Well, there's new carbon fiber wheels coming out. It's an Australian company, and they're talking to electric car companies. I've no idea if it's Tesla or not, but they take, I think, about another 5 kilos off each corner, which is
they're probably they're probably $6,000 a wheel, I reckon. How much are they?
I don't know. They're Porsche have got them. Porsche or Ferrari maybe. I don't know the price. It's a new company that listed CBR, I think they are.
It wouldn't be cheap.
On the Tesla website, they've got like rims there, like so you've got like the 20s like on the older model, and then you've got a 20 like Uber turbine, and it's got like $4,500 on it. Is that quoted for one rim, or is that for a set of 4?
No, it's for one rim. No, it's for one rim. They're about $4,000 each.
No,
so that's for a set of 4. One single, Jared.
Oh, really? I thought they were like.
No, that's what I'm wondering. Is that for a that wheel that you see there? Because it doesn't specify whether it's just for one wheel or whether it's for a set of 4. So like Uber turbine is $4,500 with a tire on it.
No, pretty sure that's for all 4.
That's all.
That's for all 4, righto. Cool.
$1,000 a rim.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, a lot of the rims are more than $1,000 each.
Yeah, I thought the ones that were on like more than that. Yeah, look at that. There you go.
They're the carbon fiber rims.
See, we could keep it celebrating. LED lights in the front look good.
New Skyline, was it?
Oh, whatever it was nice.
Yes, mate, that's a go.
See, Damo, you'll never beat Richard Cooper in a drag race, mate, because he takes in a couple of those electric toothbrushes and plugs them in, gets a little boost speed. So you got to wait. He's been a dentist. He's got all the things going on, mate. So.
I guess the thing is, you have to, if you want to go faster, you have to just get your car to lose weight. So the thing is, you're going to get down to taking seats out and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's all
pretty
about
much,
mass.
Harold. That's what they're doing in the USA. I've noticed they're like pulling all their interior. I don't want to go that far, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Just do it as your daily driver and have a bit of fun on the track. You know, it's still awesome.
That's it, Harold.
Just change the mode, Damo, to sports mode.
No, Damon, the best thing you can do is obviously make sure you've got, good tyres and right pressure in the tyres, but and warm tyres and all that. But the state of charge, if you're above 90%, you'll be posting much better times than if you're 70 or 80% or lower.
And Damo, I think you were saying that there's 32 amp 3-phase outlets, or was that you, Pete?
Yeah,
at the
I saw
track.
them there tonight, Harold. And Pete and Richard were saying they were there, but I sort of didn't know where they were. But I found them tonight. They're actually very accessible, just on the grass area.
Okay, so if you're going to do a few runs, you might want to consider this, right? Which we've spoken about many times. Not obviously for $1,280, but you can get this from the club for $750.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions tonight, Harold.
Yep.
Are they available?
Yes, absolutely. In stock and available to all members for $750.
I'll grab one, I think, because I've got a 3-phase 32 amp 5-pin going in at home.
Yep.
So I think that this would be the better option, this charger, than the Tesla wall charger. What do you think?
Well, I think in your case, because you can basically use this at the track and it will charge your car at about 75 k's an hour. So it means for each run that you do, what's the interval between runs? How many runs do you do in an evening?
The problem is you've got to line up for your
Depends
runs.
on how many people are there, Harold. And
yeah, true. But what the good thing is, what you can do is, if you leave home fairly highly charged, so we actually top it up to 100% just before you leave, get to the track, and then just plug it in maybe half an hour before, and it'll get you close to 100%, and then you'll do your run. And I don't know, Pete and Richard, what would you lose in a run? Was it that measurable, that noticeable?
No, my best run was not at full charge. It's weird.
No, what I mean is, how much charge do you lose? How many percent do you lose
2%.
on it? 2%. Oh, okay. So it's not an awful lot, but you could. But Damo, what you could do is, once you've done a run, just top it back up to 100% or near or thereabouts, and it won't take that long before you have to go back into the queue to to carry on.
so that charger, Harold, will that do like the 11 kilowatts, like the wall
Yes, it
charger
will. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
the better option than the Tesla wall charger.
Well, it
And I
is
can
for
take
you
it around.
only because it gives you the option of unplugging it at home, taking it with you, and then say taking it with you to the track or to
Yep.
some other place. That's the only
100%.
the case where it's really useful, or unless you're doing a lot of country driving in the
sure.
next 2 years. And the reason why I say 2 years is because in a couple of years, Synergy will have and Horizon will have their electric highway, which will be fast DC charging, all the way up to Kununurra and across to Esperance and to Kalgoorlie. But yeah, I think Damo, in your case, because you've got a use for a portable charger at the track, you're effectively it's line ball on cost, but you've got the flexibility of being able to take it with you. And just getting an electrician to install the electrician doesn't have to actually install a 32 amp, put a 32 amp breaker. You can just put a 20 amp is sufficient, a 20 amp circuit breaker and RCD for your house.
I sort of got lost in it all, so I've just let George go for it. And George is just going to put there what he thinks that I need, and
yeah, cool.
Yeah,
it's all good. Yeah, it's all
Hey,
good.
Damo, when you're going visiting the track for a run, give me a hoy. I'd come and race you.
What was that? Sorry, Richard.
So when you get your car and you go racing, give me a hoy and I'll come down and race.
Yeah,
It's
for
good fun.
sure. We should all have a night down there, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
Because it needs some
Absolutely.
EVs down there. It was bloody. There was no EVs tonight at all. It was just noise, you know.
Well, imagine, but Damo, imagine being beaten by Dr. Evil.
Can I use your
Because he's-
savings card to get in, Richard? Save some money. Is that right?
They have an electric night once a year where you get in half price. That's where we
Yeah,
went
actually,
last-
someone
last time.
mentioned the electric night to me the other day. I think.
How many
must
did we
pick
have
it
last
up.
time, Pete?
What's
You're
that?
around- how many Teslas did we have at the last EV night? You're amount of numbers.
Yeah, it would have been about
About a
20
dozen?
at least.
Oh, that many. Right.
Yeah.
It was more fun running. I ran against Mercedes Benz CL, whatever they, the fast Benz. Didn't have a chance. I was 60 meters down the track before he left the line. It's just a joke. It's great fun.
It's just not fair.
No, it's great. Love it.
Hey, Damo, speaking of saving money, you've just paid, if you buy that charger and the money that you save on it, rather than buying it retail, you would have just prepaid your membership for the next 25 years.
That's
Just
all right.
so-
Then, 'cause I plan on being a member for that long.
And you know what's scary? We plan on doing Ask Us Anything for only another 25 years.
God, we'll be banned by then.
Oh my God.
I hope so.
I think
Imagine that. I mean, we've done it unbroken since about May last year. So,
But
well,
with
the only
the-
time we've broken it is when we've had a casual meetup on the same night. But that's a fine surrogate for yeah.
But
I
with the
can't-
average episode going for 3 hours, we've done 25 years of content already.
I know. So to be monetized, you need to have 4,000 view hours, and it's like, yeah, we can do that in a few weeks. That's easy. It's the it's 1,000 subscribers
But
that
how
we
much
need.
of those 4,000? How much of those 4,000 years actually has to be relevant?
It is entirely relevant. Trust me. Well, it's about as relevant as cat videos or anything else that you can see on the interwebs. So
Yeah, the relevancy is irrelevant.
So when are you going to start a TikTok channel, Carol?
I ticked.
You're going to have 45 seconds of relevance every day.
We've actually got an Instagram account. If you just look under @Tesla_WA, I think something like that. We are on
See,
Instagram.
this means I don't know what Instagram means. It's grey hair. I don't know what that all means.
It clearly does exactly. Oh, I've just got a photo of Carmen's pool. Oh, nice pool.
So I've actually got a question too on these bloody Type 2 charging cables. Sorry, these are all rookie questions, I know.
No, it's all good.
So I was looking into getting one today, and there's sort of a few different ones available. So one from the Tesla site is called a Menneke or something.
Yes.
That just means type 2, Damo. That's just the
So-
standard.
Are they all the same sort of quality, or
No,
you
so
know, is there
Mennekes-
one's better than others?
No, so Mennekes has got nothing to do with the brand. That's just the standard. So it's the same as saying type 2.
Right, so that's straight from the Tesla shop, and the 7-meter one from them is 310. Or
Yep.
EVSE have got a 5-meter one for 245, or Jet Charge have got a 5-meter one for 255. What is the best one you
Okay, and Tokwa
use
has.
will recommend
Yep.
for that, and
Tok-
I'll buy it tomorrow.
Tokwa has. Oh, you can't. But Tokwa has a 7.5 meter one in a carry bag for $265.
Okay.
So that's 7.5 meters. So now the reason why you'd want a longer cable, or shall I say the rationale behind having a longer cable, is not so much if you've just reversed your car into a EV bay and you just plug straight in, because you don't need a very long cable. It's if that bay is iced. In other words, if there's a
The
petrol
ice
car.
hole.
Yep. If there's plenty of ice holes around, and literally and metaphorically. Sometimes there are some EV holes too, but that's another story. So sometimes you might get iced. So then you might have to park next to that bay. And because your charge port is on the left-hand side, if you've got to park on the left side of the ice car, then you're adding like another 2.5 meters of length that you need. So that's where a longer cable can be useful in those situations. But yeah, so you can get one off the club for $265. The only thing is there's no stock for another couple of weeks. And guess why that is, Jared?
FedEx. We love FedEx.
And it literally, and I'm not besmirching FedEx unnecessarily, but it is actually coming via FedEx.
Yes.
So I do expect there to be a delay.
No, the FedEx team is struggling. They're only 37% higher paid than any other people around. And they're doing it tough, and they haven't wanted to do it over Christmas because that's not a good time to do it. They're just doing it because they care and they want us to learn to love them. So next time you see a FedEx guy, give him a big hug.
There's also weight limits in coming out of China. Interestingly, I think it's about 310 kilos is a weight limit for air freight, and that's been mandated across all of the air freight exports for general freight. So anyway, so Damo, I'd love to sell it to you tomorrow, but we just don't have any stock at the moment. But it'll be coming. It should be there before you get your car.
Okay, so should I just wait and order this charger and the cable together, Harold? Like, what's the go with shipping and that? Should I just do the charge now and wait?
It'll be no. It'll be in Perth. There'll be plenty. Once we get, we've got the 3-phase charger in stock.
Yep.
So you could have that tomorrow if you wanted, but you might as well just wait for the Type 2 cable, and get the two as a set.
Righto, yeah, I was going to say, can you put one aside for me, please, Harold? Just
it's already it's already got your name on it, Damo. So it's all good.
Thanks, Harold. Legend.
No worries.
I'll just wait for that cable to come in, and I'll just grab both at once.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the good thing is because the great thing about your awesome car is you don't have to fret about worrying about charging it, because you can just plug in the free 10 amp plug that you get with the car, and that'll put more range overnight than you'll drive during the daytime anyway. So in general,
I just have the option of fast charging at home, Harold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it, right.
So then I just have nothing to worry about at all. If I forget to put it in, I've got to go to work the next day, or
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, too right. That's awesome.
Hey, Harold, George was after one of those 3-phase chargers as well, one of those cones chargers.
Yes, and George, I gave you my number last week, and I'll give it to you again. Ring me tomorrow.
Hey, thank you, Milton.
And just ring me and we'll sort it out. In fact, I actually on spec had one in the back seat of my car on Saturday, just in case you were coming to the AGM. So I had it there for you. But we'll meet up, and I've got one for you, George. So it's all good.
George, whereabouts do you live? North or south of the river?
I live in Kelmscott.
Kelmscott, okay.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I'm sort of down that way. I mean,
I'm happy to pick it up wherever.
Yeah, of course, because you're driving an awesome car that costs very little to run and is fun to drive. And in fact, George, I've seen you several times at Riverton Shops, so we could even meet up there or whatever. It's totally cool.
Riverton Shops, that'd be like a drug deal, wouldn't it, Harold?
I just looked up.
Go on.
Just looked up the price of some carbon fiber wheels for your Porsche.
What's that got to do with Riverton Shops?
$22,000 Australian for four carbon fiber wheels.
Worth every cent to get it on the track.
And they're not even self-cleaning.
Well, it doesn't matter with a Tesla. You don't use them anyway.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
Exactly.
I actually like the wheels my car has. And they're
Harold,
easy,
you're not-
and they're easy to clean.
Harold, you're not
Yeah,
gonna have
I
time
agree,
tomorrow.
Carmen.
Harold,
Like the
you're not
Uber
gonna-
turbines have, I didn't know what to think of them at the start, but they've actually grown on me. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I like them. They're different.
Harold, you're not going to have time tomorrow. You'll be at Carmen's pool tomorrow. Aren't you? You're doing.
No, I think Harold has a point.
The problem is there's actually no time to do that die. There's no time to die.
Zing.
Oh, that's a zinger. That's
Oh, wow. Oh, that was
Right,
worth
Richard.
logging on tonight to get the zing.
actually tomorrow I've got a really busy day, but yeah.
No,
anyway.
maybe I could call Bond.
You need to call somebody, Carmen, that does pools for a living.
No, I think Harold may have
Some
worked
time
it
on his
out.
hand.
If the water in the skimmer box in the pond, which cycles back to the pool, was too low, could have caused it.
Maybe, Carmen, maybe you need to call James Pond.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, zing. That deserves another zing, Harold.
Yeah. Have a look at your
great.
phone, Harold.
Yeah, I did, Carmen.
No, again. I sent you a second.
Oh, another one. Oh, two.
Because I think you've worked it out.
Yeah, so if you could be there tomorrow at about 11 a.m., ready to go with the skimmer.
Actually, no, I'm really sorry, but I've got to wash my hair, and that takes ages.
Hey Harold,
Um,
just on that like amps and that you were saying I only need a 20 amp or whatever. I think George is setting up like the 32 amp and that for me, because basically I only plan on keeping the Model 3 for about 4 to 5 years, and then I'm gonna update. Hopefully they'll be more available. I want to get a plaid.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A plaid's only $236,000.
Yeah, I know.
You put a deposit down now for 7,000.
I'll just wait until like 5 years, and hopefully they're more available in that, Jared, you know, and we'll know what's going on with them in Australia and stuff. So
Yeah, exactly.
at the
That's
moment,
car that I
it's
want.
all, you know,
The
it's all
Plaid is what I
hearsay.
want.
Don't even know when they're coming, you know, but
No.
within 5 years, we should get a better,
Yeah, exactly.
you know.
Yeah, at the moment it's end of 2022. Oops, sorry, plaid.
That's not the plaid.
Yeah, plaid, and it's only $236,556.
That's
for a-
264, I think, with all FSD and all the stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
well,
like,
yeah, true. But you can,
And that's
yeah,
on the-
absolutely.
That's in poverty white. We probably want a colour.
Poverty
like
pearl
black.
white.
Yeah, we want black.
Yeah, if you want it in black, it's going to cost a bit extra. 239,602.
And we want to change those
9.2
wheels.
mile, you know, like that's
Hey,
that's
Harold,
amazing.
Yeah, those wheels. Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, the arachnid wheel. Sorry, 246.
Yep.
But see, what you could do, Damo, is all you need to do, bearing in mind this little disclaimer.
The following segment is general in nature and should be taken as personal professional advice.
But anyway, if you just took a little bit of the difference between the car you're buying and the car you want to buy, and then invested it wisely in
Yep.
Tesla shares, in 5 years' time, they may double or triple bag on you, and then you might be able to dispose of those shares, pay the tax, and then buy a plaid.
Buy a plaid, yeah.
the
That's
good
so-
thing about the plaid,
I'm looking
unlike your
You'd want the
car,
carbon
these come
fibre
with a
wheels,
free
right?
yoke steering wheel.
Oh yes, yes, it has. Let's see if we can get this. There we go. Oh, look at that! Look at that! It's on the wrong side of the road, wrong side of the car. But anyway,
Has that been approved for Australian standards, Harold, that car?
I believe there is no Australian standard that defines what a steering wheel is.
Oh no, I'm talking about the car, the whole car itself.
All jokes aside, but like it is a very expensive car, right? But I don't know if you guys know sort of your race cars and that, but you try building a 9.2 second quarter mile car.
It's
that
dirt cheap.
doesn't
it's a
make
bargain.
noise. You can daily it
It's
to
incredible.
get bread and milk, and see how much it's going to cost you. You know, and you know what? You probably wouldn't even be able to do it.
It's cheap
with an ICE engine. You know.
Nah, definitely.
Well, Damo, the
Or
performance
driving
that you're
every day.
getting, the performance that you're getting, I looked up on Wikipedia when I got mine. That was 2 years ago. So there's a few other cars in there now. But 2 years ago, that was the 33rd fastest production car, according to Wikipedia. And apart from the other two Teslas in front of it, all the other cars were $500,000 plus, you know, two-door supercars or hypercars, you know?
Yeah, yep. And
So, yeah, it's a bargain.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it
sure the
is.
Plaid at 9.2 seconds, there's not much out there production car wise that'll knock it off the road. And if there
No,
is, it's definitely
isn't.
not an ICE engine. And if it is an ICE engine, well, then you're making a hell of a racket and you're burning a hell of a lot of fuel. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah,
Hey, Damien,
Plaid's amazing.
9.2 seconds at what? At quarter mile?
Yeah,
Quarter mile,
151
yeah.
mile an hour.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah. It's like 1.4 seconds to 100 Ks or something, isn't it?
It's 2 seconds.
2 seconds, 2.1.
Yeah.
That's physics. You just can't get any more grip.
Yeah.
So just
But it goes
you try
60
doing that
miles
with
an hour
nine-
to 130 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds. That's nuts.
322.
That is
That's
nuts.
ridiculous. Love it.
So, and that's 1,000 horsepower. I mean, try getting 1,000 horses, you know.
What a rough
Well,
butt pulling
Imagine
out
all
your
that
driveway.
hay.
The Chiron's 1,500
You'd have to
horsepower, but
use
it can't
chaff.
keep up.
You'd have to use chaff. It's to be easy to move.
Plaid
Yeah.
will blow the Chiron away.
Richard Chapman, have you got any opinions
Hello.
on Carmen's pool? It's been a major topic.
I think
tonight,
Harold's
Carmen's
cracked it.
pool. We believe
I
it's
didn't
been-
crack it. Someone else cracked it. That wasn't my. I didn't. I didn't
very
crack the
good.
ball.
There you
Told
go.
you that was a
That's
crack.
Another zinger.
It's not my fault.
What do you think, Richard? You're a engineer.
I'd need to get in there with a shovel.
Yeah. You know, Carmen is an engineer and he's got all his eyesight. So,
Who said that?
No, I think Harold solved it.
Did you pay that guy to come in and check your pool?
Well, he's coming back Friday morning to see the results of the test. So I'll have to pay him then, yes.
Yeah, I'd be talking about sort of like maybe, you know, saying that, you know, maybe you need to work harder at your profession. And maybe think about maybe going to hairdressing or something. Because
Pete, I don't know if you were aware, but James Pond was a computer game in the 90s.
He's not available to come tomorrow, unfortunately. Has another appointment.
I'm actually trying to just upload the photos to my computer so I can show you all.
Carmen's pool.
Carmen's pool.
Well, you might be able to work it out. I think the point of the skimmer box pond becoming low may have triggered it.
I'm going to look at all the scenarios here, Carmen.
No, I
When
don't.
you noticed the water was going, was there a bottle of red
Well,
wine?
there's no
Have
sign
you
of the
opened up any
water.
was it alcohol?
But there's no sign of the water anywhere.
That's what I'm
It'll-
saying. Carmen.
It'll be
Was there-
30
was
feet
there
below the
water?
pool, Carmen.
Yes, I know. I get that. Well, wouldn't it go into the drain?
No, because the drains they're all sealed up.
Straight in the
Water
straight
can't
in
get
the
in.
ground. Straight in the
Not exactly. I used to have it connected to the drain.
Oh, well, that's different then. Yeah.
That's what they call an underground connection. That's what your underground
Very good.
But until the water board came out and I said, oh, I have no idea what this is all about. And the water board put a flexible hose connected for the backwash, and it goes into the garden.
Right.
But you couldn't get that pool to go into the garden.
Yes, because you're not. Yeah, that's right. Because you're not supposed to backwash into a sewer.
Because it might be salt.
But I didn't do it. The plumber did it. When he
Yeah, that's
built
right.
it.
And it's a grandfathered scheme, and
Yeah.
they prefer it not to go into sewer.
Yeah. So they
But-
came and fixed it.
That's crazy.
Okay, I should have emails. I had to email it to myself.
So, Carmen, are you still refilling your pool?
And no, I've just gone out and turned it off. It's okay.
Where is it now? It's
I
full.
won't put the pump on. I've left it off. And tomorrow, I assume if the pool is still at the same level as it is tonight, then it's okay. And then I'll put the pump on and see what happens.
Carmen, maybe
Yes.
you should go and buy a Ouija board, and maybe we can psychic won't get out.
Oh,
So this is quite a
Oh,
nice
wow.
pool.
Wow.
It's a quasi above and below ground pool.
Mm.
So
This is
that's this
Armadale.
little waterfall. So that's got nothing to do with it, because if the water goes lower than this level, then it can't.
No,
go.
no, the water, I mean, the skimmer box is at the end of the pond.
Okay, I'll
And-
get the other image. Just 2 seconds.
Carmen, is this in Armadale? Maybe the water was stolen.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Somebody
So-
has come.
Oh,
So
I
that's
know.
what
It was the
happened this
RAC.
morning.
It's the RAC. It's the general manager of the RAC stealing your water.
Yes.
Yes.
So was this the level when it was empty? Like this is
Yes.
where it got to? Yeah.
It
So
got to just below that, which I think is the level where the bottom pipe is that goes to the pond.
so
And I have a water witch, and the water witch fills the bottom up, but no further.
Carmen, that's disgusting, that pool. What are you doing in there?
yeah, it's
There's a
got a few
few
leaves.
There's a tree behind.
And
There's a few leaves.
And the
Is-
guy that
is-
came out and checked your pool said it's all right. Oh, he's great.
It was windy yesterday.
So these are obviously the safety. Are you sure it's not heated? This isn't the skimmer thing, is it? This is some other circulation. Have you got like a spa section or something, or a?
And that's where the water comes out, isn't it?
No,
Oh, no, the
that's
top
where the
is.
water
No.
goes in.
That's
No.
an intake. They're like in. No, these things here. That's where
Yeah.
the water comes out.
Yeah.
There and there. But these are actually intakes, and they're safety ones. So they have them in multiple places with these diffusers, so that if you get your hair caught or whatever, you don't. No, actually, no. Sorry, you can get your hair caught, but it's so that it breaks the
When sucking
suction.
your baby.
Yes, yeah.
Well, you won't get stuck to it or you
Yeah.
know, effectively drown. So these things are normally for things like solar heaters or even gas heaters, where they're intakes.
No, it's definitely not
So-
heated. But maybe
You don't have
the
like swim.
provision-
Do you have swim jets?
No, I think it could be just provisions, and then I've got lighting. There
So
are
one of those, I'd suggest that one of the pipes leading from one of those two things is ruptured.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The water's just leaked out.
But those round things, they actually look like RAC logos, Carmen. So I'll be looking at that. I'll be going straight for the RAC tomorrow. I reckon they're siphoning the
Yeah,
water.
they came and stole the water.
That's exactly it. Exactly. That's what's happening.
That's what you get in those dodgy neighbourhoods, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Carmen, what they do is come and take us and then block up each pipe and see what happens, and then unblock one and see if then it leaks out, and then unblock the other one, and then you'll know. But they're all connected, so
Just get a pool guy out that actually speaks English.
I did.
Yeah,
I
as their
did.
first language, and that knows about pools.
Well, he didn't know a lot.
The guy from Bunnings aren't the pool guys. They're not the professional You need like Pool Time or one of those companies.
Oh, what's happened to your head there? Harold?
It was almost like a countdown timer to warn us that. Oh, actually, it's that one. It's our
time.
five. It's our 5
Richard, I
minute
sent you a
warning.
direct message. Sorry.
Yes, well, I think it's time to say good night.
Time to say good night. Definitely.
Worry about the pool tomorrow.
I was waiting for Pete to fall asleep tonight, but he was getting close.
So, Carmen, have we got to wait a whole week to find out what happened?
Well, I can text Harold.
You better put it on the website, Harold. We've got to know.
We're literally on the edge of our seats.
We're about to wet ourselves.
Jesus
Well,
Well,
yes, but Richard, we would wet ourselves if there was any water in the pond, but there's no water.
yes. Well, no, it's full now. It's okay.
Come on, Richard Chapman's got to go back to work next week. How's he going to know what happened to the pool? He won't be able to concentrate.
Well, I'll have to.
I cannot miss finding out.
He'll have to get Starlink so he can find out next week.
I have to get up at 4 a.m. I will be staying up listening to find out what happened. What has happened.
Well, on that,
it is very strange.
So
It
this
is.
whole bloody night. Goodbye.
it is absolutely, and the Tesla, the share price is down a little bit, but not a lot, so it's all good. So there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, get out. It's a casino now before it's too
There
late.
might be an opportunity for me to buy.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. Now, on that note,
bye.
on that note, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you everyone who's in YouTube land for watching. Damo, Ashley, Damon, Joseph, and many others. Thank you for watching. Thank you all here for participating. Look forward to seeing you next week on another episode of Ask Us Anything. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell and all that sort of stuff. Look after yourselves and look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, everyone.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Harold.
Cheers.
See you later, everyone.
See ya.
Good luck, Carmen.
Bye.
Night.
See ya.